play PUBG Mobile for free.
Shot gets dropped down by Galiko. What a brilliant shot. Reef's taken out. That's actually a steal away by Sniper right there, although he is going to get eliminated pretty soon. But Fazah gets down, run and gun as they go. The HeadHunterr members starting to lose right now, but it's going to be Morzy that gets knocked down by the blue. Tiny little position for TRD Go, but they are dangerous when cornered back against the wall. Hackshot going to get dropped down the spray. Now it looks like they are going to be moving towards the iKurdTeam.
See them pushing against UN.
They got 2 knocks. It looks like it might be a little bit more, but there's going to be some strength in numbers here as MEA try to breach in for the final play. Wasim in the doorway. He takes down Master, and that's going to be it. ME Assassins with the win. And they are just getting mowed down by the fire of AXT's Demon and Lord. I like this a lot better from IQM. They're keeping the three together, and they've decided that they want to go ahead. A little rough for the IQM side. Kevin, he's chunks. Nice stutter step, but he does it. 1v2 clutch. He's got eliminated. Meanwhile, Hackshot trying to take down Ray, but he can't quite close it in time there. He's got his angle on the shot, but he just doesn't have a fast enough arm to make it happen. As Ray rolls out, he's already moved away from the car. He does get blown by Hackshot, but get a shot in the window, and that's the detection, but Ray gets outplayed across the way. Captain coming up with the final shot. That's 3 cover teams that didn't happen. I think this fight might end up being over, and lose their nerve first, lose their positioning first, and Captain is in the spot.
Yeah. SNT and the shots coming in.
That's gonna be it. SNT pull it off, and
now the shot's gonna come in.
There we go. Looks like that'll be the open fire as they're trying to go for it once to get knocked down the rest, and they just turn it straight up into a firefight. Knocks, everything goes south for them.
In an area to be able to gatekeep all these teams.
Oh, that's gonna be Rodel.
But nonetheless, okay. So Lord is unfortunately gonna have to try and cross over.
Here comes the breach. Captain trying to go for it. Unfortunately, he can't do much. No, he's still up on his feet right now.
This is a bug, so he's trying to snake through to the package. He should get spotted. Of course, he's done. How many days? They're almost at that 30 kill mark.
So close, but they get themselves 29.
Whatever, let's move on from that.
There's a couple fights going on with TRD right now. MEA are actually finding them. Dr. Savage taken out by Cloud. Ray opening fire massively here.
But HeadHunterr's still got 3 members standing right now, so they have got an interesting situation. And they've got SWAT 69 behind them.
Anything happen? They rest the team. Nox moving forward.
They've just been crashed.
Rosa for SWAT 69. Guns the boss drop down. It looks like a couple of members of IQM. He tries to open fire. ZBR8. Oh, he's taken so low, but he does manage to stay alive and then turns it on. A little bit of revenge back and forth. Mustafa opening up onto Groza.
Yeah, and we're going to be seeing Groza trying to cross.
That's it!
That is the guy on the right. This causes confusion. The push is coming on the left.
It's going to be Demon. Does he have enough damage in the tank? Captain's going to get knocked down, and this is going to be the win for AXT. It looks like Mustafa running forward, but he just can't do it fast enough. Executor. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, everyone, to the PUBG Mobile Club Open. This is the spring split for 2019, and we are getting down to the wire. There are only 2 more days of the semifinals left for the ME region as well as those around the world. Hey, everybody, I'm Devin Pyrtanks Young. Joining me on my right, this fantastic gentleman, it is Tom Pickering. How you doing today?
I am doing absolutely fantastic. We're a little bit hyper here.
Apologize for your eardrums.
A little bit excited as well. Well, very excited to see today's games. Some crazy shit is going to happen.
I think so.
Family show, by the way, but nonetheless, let's move
nice.
on.
Well, now that we've gotten that one out of the way already, but yeah, it's going to be a good one. I think we've got some good maps playing today. It'll be another Vikendi. We'll have Sanhok back in the mix for the last time as Group A and C take each other on. This is A's last chance. This is the only points they can actually secure going forward before the regional finals are set.
Yeah, I mean, they've got a lot to prove, but at the same time, they have got the lead at the moment over most of the other teams, but there's still everything to lose. There's a couple of teams that could get knocked out if they're not careful, because it's obviously only the top 16 that go through. And there's a couple of A teams that are right down at the bottom.
Yeah, I think we definitely need to see more from some of our squads, but let's go ahead and remind everybody how the whole tournament works. Unlike in some other Battle Royales and, of course, in traditional PUBG, points are incredibly skewed towards the placement. 30 for a first place, for a chicken dinner. We've seen one team get close to getting that many for frags yesterday, breaking a record across the tournament, but that was because they got 29 frags, so this is much more important as the placement matches.
Absolutely crazy coming in from, it was actually SWAT 69 who are playing today as well, which should be really interesting to see what they can come up with. But meanwhile, this is a bit of an old list, so this is from the group stage, so we can obviously see who overall took part. There's a lot of teams who aren't actually here anymore. We obviously lost 8 teams in total from this list originally, but most of these teams are still here fighting for their chance for that $2.5 million prize pool at the end of the rainbow.
We will narrow it down to another 16 as well, and that is what the regional finals will consist of. And some of the teams we'll have to keep our eyes on who are, not guaranteed yet, but in a fairly safe position. You mentioned SWAT 69 over there in Group D, definitely looking great. If you look back to day one, here was our standings. ME Assassins picked up chicken dinner, followed by S&T when we moved over to Miramar, then SWAT 69 where they picked up those 29 kills, and Executor got the last Erangel. But today, we're moving on for Groups A and C, and here are where we're heading. Vikendi starting off first, as always here in the PUBG Mobile Club Open. Then we move over to Sanhok and double Erangel to close us out.
No Miramar today. We had this group's Miramar last week, so we're going to be visiting Sanhok for the first time within this set of groups. In A versus C, that is. And Erangel to finish it off is going to be brilliant. Vikendi, yesterday we saw 14 teams left alive at the 20-minute mark, which was nuts. But I think that really attributes to the fact that the point system is really determining these guys and how they play, as well as they are just generally getting better at playing the game. And as a team, as a unit, Devin.
Yeah, I think that's been a big thing. We've seen teams really evolve and develop their strategies, especially over the last day or two of the semifinals. I got a question for you, though, Tom. Just personally speaking, based on what we've seen the teams do, what has been your favorite map so far?
It's got to be Erangel.
It's a classic.
But I think Miramar is probably one of my favorites after that. And then I guess I've been surprised happily at some of the results from Vikendi, just because it's so new to me. Like there's not really been any competitive games on it that I've watched before. So the fact is that we've seen sort of different environments come out to play, like the frozen lakes. That's completely different to what we're used to in any other map.
Yeah, we've also seen, even in the group stages, there was some really cool play around those frozen lakes. People kind of ending on some of the circles that had these sort of cliff sides, and people were just dropping down trying to make the plays. It does really allow for some interesting gameplay that we don't get to see otherwise.
Yeah, I mean, it's a whole different color scheme as well, so the sort of spotting people is different, the different sort of feel, the wintryness of it, as well as the close compounds. It's completely different. So got to give PUBG props. That is a good map. I think it's got a few changes it needs to make, I think, to the circle settings, I think, ideally in the future. But currently the circle settings work in what these groups are doing. I think they've just got to learn to adapt. And I mean, over the past couple of weeks, they've done fantastic. And if you really want to go see their scores since the beginning to now, they're completely different.
Yeah, there's a great website you can go to. Of course, it is clubopen.pubgmobile.com. You see at the bottom of the screen. That is where all the information on all the players, rosters, standings, and more is concerned. And of course, you'll want to be locked into that one for all the follow-up information going forward in the tournament. And of course, you can find out even what the players are playing for. It's part of a massive prize pool of $2.5 million. It's insane. But of course, it's also about those highlight reels. And you know where you can find those, Tom? It's over at youtube.com/PUBG Mobile Esports. So just go right on there. You're probably already watching right now, but just to make sure, go ahead and give a knock on that subscription button and
ding dong that notification bell,
so you don't miss a single minute of the action, of course, across all of the regions. But this is the Middle Eastern region. We have seen some impressive performances, and I can confidently say SWAT 69 holding the record for all the teams in the tournament of the top kills in a single round, 29. Yep. Honestly, you should just go back and watch that highlight because it was insane.
They were just walking around, just slaughtering everything they came in contact with. It wasn't even a joke. It was just nuts. And I mean, we were just catching up with a couple of the other casters from who are covering the Indian region, and they're like, yeah, no one's got anywhere in the close to that. I think the closest was actually 23, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, our region was close. By SWAT 69 had 21 in a previous round as well, but these guys are bloodthirsty.
It wasn't SWAT 69, it was MEA.
Oh, that's right, yeah.
So what the funny thing is that SWAT 69 came in on their first game and got 20 kills, and the record for our region had been set since then. And then last week, MEA got 21 kills, and SWAT 69 were like, nah, mate.
We're getting them back.
Nah, mate, we're going to come in, and we're going to chime in, get 29 smackaroonies. They wanted that 30 mark, couldn't quite achieve it, unfortunately. still what a magnificent goal.
Absolutely. You know, I think it honestly really cements SWAT 69 as a team to watch in the regional finals as well as throughout the rest of the semis, which, of course, we will see today. We won't get to see them tomorrow, but this is kind of their last hurrah. They're going to be just fine. They're way out in front at the moment. I think everybody, you know, watching them, whether you're a fan from their home country, Saudi Arabia, or across any of the regions around the world, they're definitely a team that you will want to be paying attention to going forward. And they're not the only ones, though. I think we definitely want to highlight TRD. Even though they didn't live up to our expectations yesterday, this is still another chance for them to redeem themselves. They didn't really place below 7th or 8th, so they were in the top half every single time. But I personally want to see them picking up some more chicken dinners.
Yeah, I mean, they need to be playing a little bit more aggressively and a little bit more to how they were playing, because they've been trying to sort of introduce new tactics, and I think this is a really healthy point for them, because they're good enough as to how they're playing to be able to get through no matter what, because there's still 16 spots, and they're easily in the top 5 the teams overall. So they're just trying out new things. They're trying out new rotations. They're trying to work out what does work and what doesn't work. And I think we'll see a massive difference coming into the regional finals with how they play.
Yeah, and a couple other teams I want to highlight as well, because we are getting into Group C's play. This will be the first of the week for them. And we can't really talk about Group C without talking about the crowd favorites. Kurd Squad, they may not be the most successful team coming out of Iraq, but they're definitely the most popular. Yeah. And in all honesty, they're not too far off the mark. But we need to see them step it up a little bit more, because right now, 14th place, they need to pick up a few more points if they're going to be in a safe position to contest in the regional finals. And I think all of the fans are going to be throwing their weight behind them.
Yeah, I mean, they're not secure yet. So, guys, if you're in chat, you need to make sure you're spamming that
KS Heart every single time.
We
see it. Trust me. We see all of them.
I think you guys were lacking last week a little bit, so I think that's probably why they dropped off a little bit more. So
give them some love.
Need to feed them your energy. If you want them to win, got to do that. AM, though, another team that I think we need to highlight there. Definitely one of the big contenders here. They ended last week at the top of the scoreboard, and fantastically so. They brought in big numbers, big wins, and it was a beautiful sight to see.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right. Like, AM are definitely kind of like the heirs apparent to be able to pick it up. They're about 109 points off the top of the leaderboard with 4 games in hand, by the way, which does mean that they very much have a chance to pick it back up. Now, of course, things can be contested. However, we really only have B and C playing after the fact, so this is the last chance for Group A. They'll obviously be trying to put some distance between themselves and the teams that are just below them to make sure they keep that safe space. But honestly, I think Arab Mattis might be one of the best teams in this group overall.
I think so, and I think they have some decent consistency. We did see them drop off towards the end of group stage. I think they kind of lost their... They took their foot off the gas, as it were.
A little bit. But, of course, points did reset, so it didn't really matter at the end of the day.
Yeah, and I mean, you sort of said they're obviously 109 points behind SWAT 69, but to be fair, even if they have that 4-mark gap, I don't really fully expect them to be able to hit that 109 mark, because that's ridiculous. 109 points in one game, it wasn't that much. It was actually more than 109 points.
Yeah, it's close to it at the very least, but it's still a pretty big mountain to climb. But that's just to get in the first place. So obviously that's if you want to be considered the best team at the end of today, sure. But they don't necessarily have to do that, right? You just need to be top 16.
Yeah, I don't really expect them to be able to do that, because it's a big expectation to be able to try and get 29 kills plus a chicken dinner in a single game where you net 59 points, which is half some of the teams at the bottom points in total. So that's kind of ridiculous. But nonetheless, fantastic plays from them.
Yeah, absolutely. I think if we're going to rattle down a couple more teams as well, I definitely want to put 46 Loot into the consideration there, the team coming out of Egypt. They were completely absent during the group stages up until the final couple of days. All of a sudden, these guys came alive. We saw them play a brilliant rotational round on Vikendi, where they just took one of the last residences available and was able to actually stop the likes of Executor breaching through them, which was already an eye-opener. And then we thought, okay, maybe that, stray chicken dinner that can happen every now and again. Team just gets the better of the circle. No. We go on to Erangel, and all of a sudden, this team lights it up. They go hunting for kills. They pick up people left and right, and all of a sudden, we're left wondering, what the hell happened? Who are these guys? Where did did the old 46 Loot go? And then all of a sudden, they've stayed on form throughout the semifinals. So it is like a switch is just flipped, and they're on fire.
Yeah, I mean, since that last day of performing from them in group stage, where they managed to pick up 2 chicken dinners, not back-to-back, but every other one, which was fantastic alongside MEA. But let's move onwards into the future, not into the past. Let's look on at Vikendi, the map we were just talking about, from Dobro to the cement factory. We'll be seeing the teams drop off and make their way to their looting spots. And we do have TRD, so I will imagine they'll go towards Garaka, unless they've decided to change their looting habits. And that'd be quite an interesting thing to see. Russia Crush, I do want to talk about them eventually as well. Another team I think we should keep an eye on, because they've been performing, which has been a little bit of a strange one, but we'll keep an eye on them. But the plane has moved, TRD have jumped out, but they're not alone. Looks like they do have a team with them. IK, one of the other teams closer to the bottom of the scoreboard, have jumped out as well, and they're going to be able to land potentially over towards a villa, which doesn't look like it's going to be lonesome anyway. Next up, we also have the Lights Pirates. Not one of the teams we've really been focused on so far today. They've kind of underperformed compared to what we would really want to see from them, but hopefully today they can surprise us nicely.
That's a circle.
Okay, that's probably the most waterfied circle I've ever seen on Vikendi. That is ridiculous. Nearly, actually, yeah, over half of that circle was in water, I think. Actually, yeah, about half.
Yeah, that's crazy. And the only team, apart from, looks like half of IQM, that are fully safe inside the circle are Rush to Crush. And that is just not what I expected. TRD are on the border here with KS, so that could be evolving into an interesting early fight, although I believe Kurd Squad would probably have enough sense to bail away from this.
Yeah, I mean, they should know that TRD drop into Garoka most of the time, so if they've done their homework, if they've done their research on the previous games, they should have an idea that TRD are more than likely to watch this and, well, not watch this, sort of land around this area. And guys, that is what you should be doing as a team. You need to be doing VOD reviews, you need to be going through them, checking out where your opponents tend to drop, work out their habits, work out their rotations, see how you can interrupt them and how you can avoid them, or just play safely. That's really what you need to be able to do with this.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, looks like there's not going to be just one or two teams that are facing off against one another, but we don't need to start talking about it until the shots start to get firing. I do want to talk a little bit more about Kurd Squad, because one of the things that came up in our research time and time again is that they seem to be, in the semifinals, especially reliant on picking up a lot of kills. And that is a bit troubling when we've seen them go out a little earlier than could be expected. So if they're going to be relying on playing these good breaches, well, you don't want to be going down against the likes of TRD early on in this game. You want to be facing someone you can cut your teeth on a little easier.
Yeah, and I mean, I think we were discussing it earlier that they actually joined fourth in regards to having to be heavily reliant on kills to be able to get there.
Out of all the teams
points
left in the tournament.
Yeah, and this is just in semifinals, but they're definitely like up there, and that's actually joint with S&T, a team I would actually say have higher firepower than Kurd Squad. But at the same time, yesterday we didn't really see crazy amounts from all the team members of S&T. It was mainly Captain, if I remember correctly, who was doing a lot of the work.
He was the hero.
Usually we'd see like Lashin do very well, but he dropped off. But let's get back on this. So Circle is going to start restricting. KS, they've got some big decisions to make, and hopefully they do work out that going in for these early fights, getting those kills doesn't equal up to getting the high placements.
Yeah, I expect a lot of the teams that are not on the border but way out kind of in space over on the eastern side of this map, they're going to be having to make some real fast rotations, because you normally are able to take your time a little on Vikendi, because it is a smaller map, it is an island, it's, you know, a lot of open paths to kind of move from compound to compound, but not this circle.
I'm actually just thinking about it. I'm really interested to see how many teams are alive at the 20-minute mark. Is it going to be the same, or is it going to be different? How are these guys going to be playing against each other? Are they going to be going a little bit more aggressive? And yeah, I mean, Devin was actually just poking at the screen to me. There's actually only 3 members of KS.
That's not great.
I wonder what happened there. That's a little bit unfortunate. It does look like there's actually multiple teams that have only loaded in with 3, because there's only 61 alive.
You sometimes see this. It's a little unfortunate to happen in the semifinals, but a player just doesn't make it into the lobby in time, and the game's got to start when the game's got to start. So sometimes you play with a man disadvantage, and well, it looks like KS are going to be one of the teams doing that this time.
Well, you know what? I think we've seen them do it before, and they actually perform fairly decently. Most of the teams that do play with 3 tend to perform fairly decently, and the main reason for that is because they tend to play a little bit safer. They tend to back away from fights. They don't pretend to
more
play
disciplined,
always aggressive. A little bit more disciplined, because they know they don't have as much firepower, potentially, as all the other teams. Unless their name is Rush to Crush, then they would always just rush and they didn't care. Although, new Rush to Crush, they turned up yesterday.
Well, all the teams are going to come to them, so they have to be pretty happy. But, hey, maybe you're right, man. Less can be more sometimes. Obviously, that's not an endorsement of leave one of your teammates out of the lobby. That's not usually a good idea. But at this level of play, these are some of the best players and teams that the region of the Middle East has to offer, and we will see on our screen it is IQM's Mustafa99 and Tomb, who are just kind of running on foot. This is a team that used to split out a lot, and they're actually in my favorite spot of the map, Dino Park.
Dino Park. But, you know what? Also a little bit of a highlight from them is the fact that since they decided to start playing together, they haven't really been getting as many good placements, but they've been able to get more kills. I think they've gone up to 21 kills after, I think they had 8 in the first week.
They effectively tripled the kill count that they had, but that was because they were basically just splitting off, getting 1 or 2 frags here and there, and mostly just letting one of their players survive for a long time, and it seemed to work for them, but that was kind of their strategy. That was sort of the one-trick IQM play. Now, well, you know, they've been able to change it up a little bit and add all their players, but as you mentioned, they're going out a lot earlier because their team play just hasn't been quite as good.
Yeah, they're pretty much a one-trick pony, and, you know, actually that sounds like quite a cool team name, One Trick Pony.
Yeah, I don't know if it's a good idea to name yourself that because it might be a dead giveaway unless you're mind gaming your opposition.
Mind gaming, you know.
You're actually a several trick pony, which is less catchy.
Oh, and look, it's Hixie.
Yes.
Not Hixie.
Well, it used to be Hixie. He dropped the U, so he's just Hixie now. But this is TRD. This is the team that from the group stages we expected to be the absolute top of the table, and they have a little bit of work to do to recapture that. But points will reset going into the regional final, so all they need to do is hang on to that position. They'll be okay. I do want to see more from them. A couple other squads. We see AM actually kind of coming up on the screen just a moment ago, and we haven't talked about them as much as you mentioned, the Light Pirates. They kind of had a bit of a roller coaster, right? They started pretty meh. They were known primarily for just dancing inside of a compound, specifically on this map. And then they started lighting it up, and then they just disappeared. Like, they just kind of flashed the pan, really.
It was very light of them to be able to just jump away from that. But I don't even know what kind of pun that's supposed to be, but moving away.
It landed pretty heavily, to be honest.
Yeah, and I mean, Koro is going to be landed very heavily on the ground, dead to rights, and so is
Purge. Yeah, this is kind of more like the old Light Pirates. We saw them kind of run into a compound, but unfortunately not checking all of their angles and not realizing they could get mowed down pretty easily. And Purge, he's got that micro Uzi just able to do from a distance.
Such a meme.
I know, right?
Micro Uzi.
We've seen so many of these like partial looted teams just spray and pray and actually find shots.
Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, but hopefully it does work in this instance. IQM could definitely do it for more kills than Light Pirates if they do, and well, he is pretty much dead in this situation. That's right. He's got no helmet, I don't think. No, he hasn't. So he's probably just going to get punished here, and he's only got a Tommy gun with 30 bullets in it, no meds left at all. A little bit screwed, but
he's got teammates who's just not around him, unfortunately. So this was the split off for the Light Pirates, and maybe the rest of the team's going to be okay. But here comes the breach.
You know what's ironic? IQM, the team famous for splitting up and not being together, going after the solo player that split off.
What a weird world we live in.
Oh, well.
I mean, teams definitely have been changing things up, and we've seen almost all of our squads here in the MEA region really kind of develop over time. But, you know, in a couple of instances, maybe the development's backwards.
Yeah, unfortunately for a couple of them, it just seems like they probably don't do the homework. It's like TRD. They went away. From group stage, they did absolutely amazing, but they didn't play. They didn't practice. They didn't talk during that week. They didn't try to develop further. So when they came in, there was a slightly evolved meta, and they got crushed.
For 1, 2, 3 games, and then they finally kind of picked it back together on that 4th one. And now they've been terrifying again. Obviously, yesterday kind of notwithstanding, I do want to see them return to that form. We'll talk more about them as we go. And yeah, this is about as to be expected. Bit of a free kill picked up there by the IQM side. So they actually are the ones that start drawing first blood on this one. Down to 59 players. As you mentioned, there were only 61 that loaded in the start of the game, but still 2 members of the Light Pirates remaining, which means no teams eliminated yet.
Yeah, and there's actually a package in the distance there. We'll see if anyone does go and pick it up. So obviously the first 2 kills went over towards IQM, and they were both dropped on the Light Pirates side. Luckily for them, they did go in for a split, so it means that they weren't just wiped off the table, which was potentially a strong possibility. We do see KS, a.k.a. Kurd Squad, in the background there, still looting up in a slightly different location. So it'd be interesting to be able to see the map view in a moment, so we can actually commentate on where these guys are going, how the map is looking.
And hopefully we can get that. Looks like it's actually JS that loaded in with only 2 players. Now that's unfortunate. That is very unfortunate. Rest of the Light Pirates kind of hanging out here. They have the same even numbers that Just Survive had. And JS were one of those teams that we actually had, you know, some eye-opening moments. They were never great at fragging, but they were great at positional play and staying alive till the final minute. Even on a couple of Erangel matches, in some really tough urban fights where there were teams surrounding them, they managed to stay until the final 2 a couple of occasions.
Yeah, I mean, it was definitely a surprise from JS. We've never really seen too much from them. I think maybe on the first couple of days we were like, oh, okay, they're just a 5. That's cool. But then it never really happened anywhere further past that. Last week we saw a little bit of a spike, but that was pretty much it. There's not really been anything sort of past that. So we've actually just seen a fight breaking out, I think, between SNT and Executor. Not quite sure where, but we did see a knock coming out on, I think it was Clown who went down. So we'll see that in a moment. Meanwhile, Rush to Crush, still sitting happy here.
Safest place on the map right now over at Dobra. However, 46 loot are going to be coming rolling up on here. I wonder if they'll be able to get the breach on. Rush to Crush will find themselves in an unusual position of having to defend an area. Here's that fight you were talking about, though. Lord lays down the smoke. Clown going to be running right after him. So they did get him back on their feet.
And they're doing a very smart thing. They're backing away, though.
Yeah.
This is the kind of plays we want to be seeing, is that they're actually backing away from this, getting collected, and now they're holding these guys on the edge.
And it's good cover fire coming out as well, so really nicely played. And it's not easy to do against the likes of a team like SNT.
Oh, no, especially, I mean, it's not even that they're just good at fighting, it's the fact that they're good at this sort of distance shots as well. They're able to sort of land those shots. It's SWAT 69 who are good at crashing and just going full-on aggressive and getting those wipes. And meanwhile, we saw yesterday, even on Miramar, we saw SNT just wipe team after team from a distance.
You're absolutely right there.
And Demon, so he's going to be able to heal up here. He's not going to get hit by the blue. SNT are going to have to move in. Does look like they have a couple of vehicles here and are going to be looking to rotate. So the circle has shifted, but it's really not going to change too much apart from, I think, just centralizing and then more shifting over towards the sort of hard east.
Yeah, and even a little care package gets dropped down in the middle of the water for anybody brave enough to go swimming. I don't know if there's a whole lot of boats available this side of Vikendi.
There's a couple, but I think it's just too dangerous, so hopefully,
it's not easy.
Hopefully we don't see that come into play. It seems like SNT have actually split up.
Yeah, so this is SNT. We keep talking about them in the same breath almost always as SWAT 69 just because they use the same clan tag. Obviously, things may be changing. Looks like we saw them change up a little bit. But they've also been kind of almost toe-to-toe consistently with SWAT 69. Didn't play as well against them yesterday, but that's kind of hard to say when one team picks up 29 frags. They're still a great squad. You mentioned Captain really stepping up in the clutch as the team leader. La Shin, usually the ace for the team, not performing as well, but it's fine. They cover their own bases. They really cover for each other as well.
Yeah, and I mean, it was actually sort of SNT who clutched out on Captain on Miramar yesterday. It was close to
That does seem to be their map, actually.
It was close to being SNT versus SWAT 69, but ended up being not quite that. Ended up being one of the other teams, but it seems like there's going to be a fight between TRD and that KS eventually.
Yeah, so the two teams decided to fight after all, and it looks like it was going to be a non-aggression pact, but that's not the case. Hixie does manage to get one down with the Molotov. Let's see if they're going to be able to finish off the rest of Kurd Squad. This would be disaster for the fan favorites starting off, and the spray comes through. Ebo, oh man, he gets a lot of damage. Unfortunately, he's down in the fire with nowhere to go, and they're going to be falling down, dropping like flies right now. TRD are the masters of breaching.
That's them dead.
16th place finish for KS. You hate to see it.
Like that. Just instantly dead. Doesn't matter if it wouldn't even matter if they had 4 people there. They got obliterated. That was a fantastic entry by TRD. They didn't mess around. They chucked in the Molotovs, they chucked in a couple of grenades, and they stood around the windows, waited for this team to run away, and they just fell into the mouth of the shark and got eaten alive. I mean, Hackshot's fairly happy they're able to loot up. Kevin's like, look, guys, fantastic work. Obviously, as IGL, he's probably a little bit happy here. Let's see how he responds at future moments. And I just want to point out, actually, they moved away from TRD. KS ran away from TRD, and TRD chased them, or happened to come across them.
Yeah, I mean, hunted them down one way or another, right? So that's obviously a rough start for Kurd Squad. We'll see if they can recover in following rounds. But for TRD, that's an encouraging sight. They barely take any damage in that breach, use only a couple of Molotovs, get the spray down. Really good play. And the best part was, the one guarding that stairway was actually Ebo, who's the best shot on Kurd Squad. And they just kind of made him look like an amateur.
Yeah, I mean, when you go in and take some shots, don't really have to land anything because they chucked in the Molotov. So he was caught in between 2, accidentally ran into the one to his left, and got burnt alive.
All right, checking back in with this fight here. It's SNT playing up against Executor. La Shin does manage to land a headshot onto Lord. That's what we talk about when we talk about La Shin really being the ace for the team. He does get a lot of those headshots. We'll see if they get even more here. It's Palat having to run away from the fire.
So this is what we're talking about when we say the sort of like long distance fights, even with Molotovs at this distance. And close to SWAT 69, they've now got a down, but unfortunately they weren't in the correct position to be able to push on it. Yeah. But if they get another down, you can see they're already able to run in there. Circle is going to be closing down Devon. Where's it going to go?
Well, I'm always hoping for Dino Park, but that would require a real hard shift. I guess we'll find out in just a couple of seconds. Give us that. Give us that drum roll. Looks like we are heading back to the north, so Dobro is going to be there, and a couple of the teams going to have to make moves. But we still want to check in with this fight because these are not the friendliest of neighbors here. S&T looking to breach in on the house here. Meanwhile, JS going to be fighting out against the likes of 963, and this actually might be a bit even.
This is quite an interesting situation between them. I mean, 963, we've kind of doubted them a couple of times. They did get that surprise wipe on 70 last week. A little bit of a fluke, I think, but still they managed to pull it off and no clutch from Reef. Meanwhile, SNT, they're in a bit of a difficult situation here because they've got the blue on their back, and they are going to have to move in a moment.
Yeah, Mustafa, he's kind of caught out between the blue. Clown going to be opening up, however. Oh, he ducks right behind. This is a great use of the cover here. Let's see if they can get even more there as Captain already dropped to his knees. The rest of AXT going to come in, but Clown is going to get dropped down by Mustafa. La Shin coming through. SNT, they just look like the superior team, but Demon does manage to mow down Mustafa, and he should be able to finish off the rest of the squad here. AXT, they had one man standing, and there's the turnaround. Lashin get the full wipe elimination. It's AXT out in 15th place.
So what really happened there is it was actually a breakdown of communication. They didn't realize where Lashin was. They might have thought that he was running away. So instead of clearing the local area or trying to get in a safe position to revive someone, they went in for the finish, and they got punished for it. Deservedly so. He did a great clutch, but he didn't take it all the way to the finish.
S&T definitely proved that they are one tough customer, and that means you see AXT going out a little bit early right there. So here's the interesting thing, though, Tom. This kind of feels a lot more like the groups in the early stages of the semis, not at all like what we saw yesterday. Yesterday was a much more controlled style from almost all of our teams.
Yeah, I think it's slightly different circle. So yesterday we actually saw a lot more teams in the original circle, so there's a lot less sort of original sort of shifts. So I think the circle plays a big part of it. Meanwhile, RBK, another team we've not really spoken about, but they have been playing very good. LTK, on the other hand, have actually been a little bit disappointed since their massive finish last week.
Yeah, they've really dropped off since I believe it was a double chicken dinner here, but they are taking RBK toe-to-toe right now. One does get dropped down by Slom. Let's see if the rest of RBK can be able to do it. H-mode. He's definitely a player I've always got my eye on, especially after that Pride Rock from a couple of weeks ago where he was able to take down multiple members of multiple teams, especially UN looking down on below, just utilizing the element of surprise. Looks like 9-9 is going to have to move just behind that tree a little bit further. H-mode going to climb out, see if he can get his teammates back up. This isn't going to be easy, though. He drops down before he gets dropped for good. RBK, they only have 2 healthy members there. And it looks like they will not be able to get their teammates back up, and they're going to have to bring them in crawling before they can do it.
Yeah, I think this was actually a smart choice. They're going to be able to pick up these guys. They wiped that team. Which was fairly good for them. They managed to get the kills. So we're down to 13 teams now. 963 in the distance. Hopefully they don't push up too aggressively, because I think 963 would lose to that of RBK, especially as RBK are going to have the man advantage and also, in my opinion, the firepower.
Yeah, 963 is another one of those teams that we talk about that are usually kind of hovering towards the bottom of the standings.
Playing on the fringe.
Yeah, right now they need to really start to level up, and that's maybe why we're seeing them go a little bolder here. If they do go for the push, you don't have as much to lose. You only have so many more games left to play before you are run out of chances. And I think having them play a little more aggressive, even if they're not the best team at it, it's probably not a bad idea.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's going to cause a little bit more friction, a little bit more excitement, some more kills for other people. Or it might just push other people into different positions, because if they take more shots at people, they're more likely to go for rotations. Say if a car's pushing them, instead of just hiding in a bathroom, they take shots at them. Means they're not going to get gate crashed. Meanwhile, Circle has shifted further down south. It's actually quite a hard shift, not full one, but quite close to, and it actually includes a lot of the teams. But we're going to be seeing a Rush to Crush finally having to move.
Yeah, they've been there for a while, though, so I think this is okay for Rush to Crush. We'll see how they go. Definitely have been camping and having a pretty good time all the same. But now a lot of these teams that will be crashing into the new circle will be joining really close to one another, button heads, as it were, and we are probably going to be into one of those real heavy firefights on multiple fronts.
So somehow 963 walked away from their fight with all 4 members left alive. I thought they were actually knocked down to more than that, but it seems like I was wrong. But a couple of members are quite close to KA, and although they're skillfully matched, numbers are not in 963's favor, so they're probably going to get shot down. Meanwhile, Light Pirates in the distance, you can actually see them trying to make their way in here into the circle, which they should be able to do, but they might get contested on the end. Meanwhile, S&T down to 3 members. Is that going to be enough to cut them out of the hills? Probably not.
I don't think so. I mean, it was Narcos that got taken out, and he's a good member like all of the players on that side. But honestly, in my mind, this is the core 3 of S&T right now, especially Lashin and Captain. Mustafa, more or less, at least on the same level. And I think like S&T is going to be okay. Now, whoever's going to be more than okay is whoever ends up picking up that AWM dropping out of the sky right now. And I believe that was actually TRD that it dropped right next to. So that's kind of a gift from above. Hamad opens up some fire onto Haji from KA. Light Pirates, I think that this is actually one of the teams that they are better than.
I think they could 2v4 this. Not easily, but I think they could definitely do it. Unfortunately for them, they're going to be at a disadvantage with not knowing exactly where the other members are, but I think KA will probably expose themselves without realizing that they're doing so.
Yeah, KA is just unfortunately one of those teams that have been closer onto the bottom, similar to 963, but a little bit more passive than that, and you can see there really isn't an easy way for them to get there. Now, meanwhile, Abood from 963 opens up fire into the IQM members, and they really didn't expect that to come through there, not watching every angle.
So a little bit interesting there when it came in, because he couldn't quite get all the shots off. It was maybe like a C for effort, but it wasn't quite a good finisher. If he had a chance, chucking a Molotov onto those guys, brilliant. Burn them alive. Even a grenade. If you hold it down, chuck it onto them.
Oh, very Targaryen of you, Tom.
If you understand that, guys, press F in chat. but I won't go any further than that. So 963 still clinging on to life right now. LP trying to make it inside the circle, challenging that of KA, and potentially going to get punished. Meanwhile, circle.
Just closing in once again. Let's see where it goes. We've still got a decent bit of water to work with right now, but it's going to center onto the RBK members who actually make their way just behind that care package, and teams will be coming in on them right now. Still 45 players alive at the 20-minute mark in the game. Looks like it might get reduced a little further, though. Hama gets finished off by Quiet from AM.
Interesting in that situation from them. AM, not a team we've really seen too much from so far this game.
No,
They've
but that's
been
just
a little
fine.
bit quiet. So it's going to be interesting to see them.
I see what you did there.
Yeah.
For those of you unaware, there is a player named Quiet on AM, and that's the joke. But yeah, 963, honestly, this is one of the more pleasant surprises as well. They get a team kill. They do manage to get out with all 4 members. We'll see if they can last a little bit longer here. But there are the SNT members, 3 of them remaining. Rolling up on HeadHunterr's territory. Should be able to breach into that house, actually. I believe HeadHunterr's lost one. No, they got a knock and didn't lose one after that.
Yeah, so they managed to pick him up.
Looks like there's a couple of fights breaking out here. It's AM's Quiet that takes down Escobar. 46 Loot running afoul of Rush to Crush, actually. They do trade back and forth. I want to see that fight. We got to get back over there. You can see Zico, meanwhile, he tries to hold down the fort here. Up in the top, a lot of open areas. And 46 Loot, we talked about how good this team can be, but they were caught unawares by the Rush to Crush members. Alush does get knocked by Damu.
So down to Zico.
Let's see if he can hold this one. I don't think dropping down is going to be a great idea. Moomin is around the side here, so this actually is a little bit more even than it might have been expected. Meanwhile, off screen, the last of the Light Pirates gets eliminated out in 13th place. But back to this fight, Moomin is going to be able to get the res. Rush to Crush, kind of uncertain, hesitating, unusual for them.
Yeah, definitely should have had the use of nades in this from Zico if he had any. Now he may well just get punished with a firefight coming in.
Yeah, there's third parties happening as well. You could even see JS, and that was just off the screen. RBK coming in to try and clean up the rest of this one. 46 Loot in a bit of a tough position, but Alush is their man on the outside. Let's see if he can be able to hold the line for them. As Moomin and Zico upstairs trying to stop the breach. Alush gets knocked again. Isolated by Nasser.
And we are going to be switching on over to IQM. We're going to get smashed here.
Yeah, 9-6-3, unfortunately, just kind of running afoul of the other teams, and it looks like they will get knocked out in the 12th place position. Meanwhile, Moomin getting finished off or knocked again by Damu. And I think it will be down to Zico truly this time.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, in this situation, just even go for the aggressive play because you're going to have to do something, and now it seems like Nasser's going to be pushing him.
Goes for it right now. Zico tries to hide, but it just doesn't happen. So 46 Loot end up going out in 11th place. Now that is definitely a surprise for us as Rush to Crush, just with a superior breach. This is what we saw from them on day 1.
Oh, and
not over yet?
Yeah, I just want to discuss that quickly. So 46 Loot, the guy at the top, he didn't underhand his Molotov below them, and that's the reason why they got screwed. He could have done that, could have nailed them, but instead lost out.
Yeah, meanwhile, we'll check back in with Hackshot here as he's just mowing down members of IK. Unfortunately, takes a couple of errant shots himself, and IK definitely have some teeth, but they are backed against the circle at the moment, trying to play up against what many consider to be the best team here from the MEA region. All 4 members still healthy.
Yeah, and I think they could just really land the hard shots here. TRD are such a fantastic team, especially playing in this sort of compound, firing out of it.
Wait until they peek.
I mean,
this is another thing TRD do well. They don't necessarily pre-fire to give away position. They just are so quick on the trigger.
But look at these nades. So this nade will probably make the difference between IK being able to do anything here. But they have seen him. Oh.
Big boost for it right now. Hackshot does get dropped right away. That's Kurwan, I should say. Zero turns it around back onto him, and Hixie finishes the job. That is a 9th place finish for IK, and that was throwing your numbers around.
Yeah, so they've got 7 kills in total so far. That's almost, well, actually that is 2 squad wipes because they wiped out KS, and now they've wiped out IK. And they're going to have to do a little bit of a run here. They've got 20 seconds to get inside the circle. Hackshot is going to have to heal up and pick up a new helmet because he has none right now.
Yeah, here's Rush to Crush. Meanwhile, moving back in on RBK, and I wonder if they'll bite off a little bit more than they can chew here. With 3 members healthy, up against the 4 squad of RBK. Good Molotovs chucked into the top window. The accuracy of these teams really has been improving. And again, Rush to Crush, they're a team that like to breach compounds. They are best on attack. Will they be able to go back to the tried and true roots?
I think so. I mean, I think this is just going to be a bit of a developed, an evolved situation. These grenades, this entrance in is just a fantastic evolution for Rush to Crush. They're actually using their utility rather than just running in guns going off.
Would you say they've gone from Killer Brain to Mega Brain?
Might well do that, but they're also now going to be getting third party.
Chassoir dropped down by Quiet. Meanwhile, there's HeadHunterrs really getting involved in the mix as well, but Rush to Crush realize, all right, this is not as safe as it looked. Third parties are going to be abounding. The HeadHunter members kind of coming up to spray around here. If they can get the outplay, should be able to do it. The BAP is still up here as Tupac tries to go around the side, gets the finisher, and he's not going to go for the elimination, but meanwhile, the From the opposite side there was another one. It was Dr. Savage. They didn't account for the last remaining member of HeadHunterrs. And Rush to Crush lose it.
Yeah, that was a 100-meter shot coming out there to clutch the day. I think there was also a Molotov somewhere as well. Couldn't quite see what happened there, but...
All of a sudden, Tom, we're down to 6 teams right now, only 18 alive. It's just been a constant feed in the kill. Tupac is actually still up in this, so... For 1 second, he was able to get one down, and then he finally dropped it. HeadHunterrs come out ahead of Rush to Crush.
That's just insane. The fact that they were able to take Rush to Crush in that situation was purely down to that odd positioning of one of their players, which just goes to show, if you play head-to-head, a lot of these teams are going to get the better of you, but if you play that off position on one of your players, you may well just have the better chance.
And RBK, honestly, they've got to be high-fiving from a distance over to HeadHunterrs because they basically just had their lives saved. That was looking like a good breach for Rush to Crush, and then the third party came in hot and heavy. Here's checking back in with TRD, who are going to have to make a run for it. Good split around, using all the cover they possibly can get here. These rocks covered in snow. Hackshot going to be seeing where the rest of his team is located at the moment. They got to be careful not to get turned on.
There was actually AM, who are quite close by to the left of this. You can't quite see it right now, but they're actually, yeah, they're actually a little bit in the open. If TRD happen to see them, they'd actually be able to get a couple of shots off on them, which would be fantastic, but it seems like they're going to get shot on here.
All right, well, here's where the next circle is going to be going. Just a bit of a crossroads here as AM trying to open fire up. RBK having one of the last compounds remaining, now on the edge of the play. Butcher getting headshot there by Mustafa for S&T, and yes, S&T are still in the mix. This is a lot of our very strong teams here. HeadHunterrs also surviving beyond the odds we would have expected from them.
Yeah, really good plays from them so far. A little bit of a development on their playstyle. Meanwhile, TRD, they need to get the sort of tactical sort of positioning, and it looks like they're going to be doing exactly that. They've got the vehicles, they've got the stones, and now they've got the balls there, pushing up into the middle of nowhere with their vehicles. Let's see what
certainly
RBK
got
do
some
here.
rocks, Tom. I'll give him that for sure. RBK chucking smokes over to the HeadHunterrs side of the map, and Lashin is going to be able to take down the map. Talk about third parties coming in. HeadHunterrs turnabout is fair play. And another team drops. I think that was the last of the HeadHunterrs, so they will go out in 6th place.
Yeah, I mean, it's a little bit unfortunate when you get trapped in between RBK and SNT, but we're going to be having to see RBK fight up against those guys. I think there might be one member of HeadHunterrs.
Oh, no, there's still one.
Yeah,
okay,
yeah,
it's Dr. No, they're still fine. It was another team that ended up dropping down in 6th. We'll have to check in with that one. However, a lot of HeadHunterrs members are starting to lose their lives for real this time around, and I believe that is truly the elimination out in 5th place.
Second life has been used, and now they're going to be going out. Meanwhile, RBK looking to take advantage of the low health players.
Yeah, Captain, he had to really hit the deck there just to make sure he didn't get dropped, and that would have been the end of S&T's chances here on Vikendi. Should be able to res his members back up, but man, RBK, these guys are so good defending houses. It looked tense for a moment when the Molotovs and the smokes were flying, but they managed to endure.
And the blue is now going to be creeping, and it's going to get ever, ever closer to these guys. So they're going to be low health, having to run across the open.
It's Lashin, drop down, turn it back around to one of the RBK members, but there are strength in numbers right now. Let's see what Captain can do. He's able to clutch quite a bit, but he's got to run the blues to his back. Let's see if he can get back over to res up Lashin. Should be able to make it happen.
No. Do not res him at this point. He needs to get inside the circle. It's too dangerous to go for this. And TRD!
Oh no, this could not happen at a worse moment right now, and he just gets sprayed down courtesy of Hixie. That is going to be S&T out in 4th place.
What was that? TRD just going ham. They didn't need to rotate. They could have just stayed, but they're like, there's kills there.
Go big, go bold. And now Hixie is going to be starting to move on into the breach here, and I don't know who I favor. RBK, they've shown incredible propensity at defending here, but they have nowhere to go. They are going to get trapped. The Molotovs coming in. Hixie looking for the breach into the house. Nowhere to go with the first aid kit coming up. Zero does get dropped to his knees by JS. The Masters of Survival are still managing to take pot shots here, and Hixie's finding one down, one elimination. H-Mode is out of there. 2 more members of RBK really still in this game, and it's not going to last much longer the way this TRD side is playing.
Yeah, and you can just see Hixie is just like, right, these guys are going to have to come out towards me, so I'm going to look to take them out. So that is a grenade, I think.
Looks like a smoke it might have been.
Yeah.
Not 100% sure here, but this is a great compound hold for the members of TRD. They've still got all their members up. 11 kills for this squad. We definitely wanted to see a little bit more from them. Well, they certainly came to play here on Vikendi. Now, JS, they have Rip on the opposite side. A great knockdown, and that will be the end of it for RBK. They are out of there and just survive. Well, they'll be looking for a token effort, but it's only Rip. It is a 4-on-1, and they can just run for it.
Ripperino, indeed. They know where he is. They're smelling the blood, but he takes the first shots.
Yeah, he does manage to get one down, but there's really no follow-up available. And Rip, I think there is only one way for it to go. They're just going to drive on through, crashing forward. He's fighting in the blue, and it's only a matter of time. It is a chicken dinner for the real deal.
Kevin was like, oi, guys, give me a kill. He has actually got 4 kills. That is massive. Fantastic to them. So that is a good amount of kills.
14 altogether, yeah.
Yeah.
That's very respectable. I mean, it's definitely no 29, Tom, but I think I want to give some credit. But how about this? JS loaded with 2 members, gets 0 frags, but a second-place finish.
Like I said, lower the members, the higher chance they're going to
there's less targets to get hit, I guess, right? You know, you can just get one, just drop them into the dead center of the circle, you're going to be just fine.
Yeah, I mean, when it comes down to it, you're playing a little bit more sneakily because you don't want to get seen. And if there's only 2 of you, there's 2 less chances for you to get spotted and fired upon. And they're playing sneaky. But massive credit to TRD. They didn't need to shift over there, but they took their cars and they were like, what's that? Gunfire? Yoit!
Yeah, let's take a look at it, how it all went down. It all started with the unfortunate fight from KS going very south as there was fire in the house, and they had to jump out the windows. TRD just showing that they are so good at taking compounds when they want them. S&T started opening up onto the AXT side and made them fall next. It got a little quiet after this for just a little while. Then teams kind of wandered away into the house here. RBK having a great defense up against LTK side that was determined to push into them, and they pretty much never left at this point.
Yeah, they managed to hold on to this compound for a long time.
I think they should be paying rent at this point.
I think they did shift over to a slightly different one, but still was good for them. LP, very much a disappointing show from them, but not any different from their performance last week, which was pretty much the same thing as this. Also, 46 loot, a little bit disappointed in their use of utility and the inability to be able to actually get the kills, but Rush to Crush, they did well.
They did well right up until the point where they got third-party themselves. It was a surprising play by HeadHunterrs here. IK, meanwhile, trying to put the backs up against TRD, but they were unafraid. They jumped out and managed to get those shots just over the corner of the wall, and this is why those houses are at a bit of a premium, Tom. I wonder what a summer home on Vikendi costs this time of year. Things are pretty hot.
Probably a lot, mate. Probably a lot.
Yeah.
It's premium land. It's only 4x4. It's
Absolutely.
Not too much there.
Not a lot of space. Besides, all the neighbors are a little bit rough, to be honest. Now, RBK, they really held the line as best they could here, but unfortunately, there was nowhere for them to go, and you saw it. That was when Real Deal sealed the deal and picked themselves up a total of 44 points to start things off. They're definitely looking to make a run back up to the top of the table.
Definitely, but not too far behind on kills. Was actually going to be SNT with 10 themselves, but they also only got 16 points for placement.
How about HeadHunterrs, though, man? 6 frags for themselves, a 14th placement points, and not too bad. Now you look at the rest of the teams that kind of come through here. Obviously, there's a few names you very disappointed to see at the bottom. Kurd Squad, Executor. We do expect some more from these guys. I think 46 loot as well, but they still performed a little bit better than they had in the very early days. But there's time. There's absolutely time. Here are our kill leaderboards, though, as well, and you do see S&T's Mustafa is going to be on the top. And then after that, it's pretty much everyone from TRD.
I mean, I'm not surprised at all from any of these. And you know what? B52 with 3 kills. We didn't really see anything from them. We kind of missed all
they
the
were kind of
action.
quiet.
But let's have a quick look at TRD versus S&T on a head-to-head here in regards to kills. Yeah, is this kind of what I'd expect, really, from TRD? I put them above S&T in most situations, but I think S&T are quite a strong team, and they did prove it in that game. Kevin, though, coming out with 4 kills is pretty good for him.
Yeah, but Mustafa on 5 himself, and he nearly doubled the damage that Kevin was dishing right there, as well as a headshot. And, honestly, these are pretty comparable. Mustafa definitely had a solid play, and I think he's not the only one, so I definitely want to check in to see who else did really well here. It was just S&T going out a little bit earlier than they would have liked. Captain, of course, gets 2 for himself, but that is paling in comparison to TRD 0. We always look at this guy. I'd say he needs exactly 0 seconds to line up those scope shots.
Yeah, no, he has been playing absolutely fantastic in the past and proved it to do exactly that again today. Lashing. No? Yeah, it is. Hey,
it was Lashing.
Right.
Yeah, no, you got it. It still says Hixu, by the way, but the U is missing. Don't even take that into account. He's Hixu now.
Yeah, who knows?
It's not a phase, I promise.
Yeah. He's going to grow up out of that emo phase.
I hope he doesn't grow out of that kill score, man. 4 and 872 damage, that's nothing to bat an eye at.
Yeah, and last one we actually saw him get a decent headshot, but he didn't get a massive amount of damage, which is a little bit of an interesting one here. Again, I think we've seen a little bit of the replay, which is a bit of a
we're covering a couple more here. This is some fun stuff, and just to see how it all went down with some of the likes of the 46 loot members, of course. Not a lot happened after that, so it was Rush to Crush when they really stepped up into the clutch. But honestly, this was more of what we expected, not just from TRD, but also from the S&T side. And I was pleasantly surprised by HeadHunterrs. They took advantage of a moment of chaos. You talk about how they tunnel vision a little bit too much, and obviously that is a concern, but they had great instinct to go in for the kills on what was very likely a superior opponent.
The thing is, it was either a happy coincidence or they actually played better. The fact is that 3 of them were downed and they're behind that wall. Rush to Crush had it like to their advantage, but then we actually saw one of the other players who was out in the distance came in, took the shot, saved the day. That could have just been completely coincidental, and they might not have actually meant to do that. But either way, we'll have to see what goes on through.
Yeah, well, great first map. I cannot wait for even more. We've got Sanhok coming up next, so do not go anywhere. Don't touch that browser. We'll know if you do. We'll be right back with more of the PUBG Mobile Club Open after this.
play PUBG Mobile for free.
Shot gets dropped down by Galiko. What a brilliant shot. Reap's taken out. That's actually a steal away by Sniper right there, although he is going to get eliminated pretty soon. But Fazah gets down, run and gun as they go. The Hunters member starting to lose right now, but it's going to be Morzy that gets knocked down by the blue. Tiny little position for TRD Go, but they are dangerous when cornered back against the wall. Hackshot going to get dropped down. The spray. Now it looks like they are going to be moving towards the IK. We see them pushing against UN. They got 2 knocks. It looks like it might be a little bit more, but there's going to be some strength in numbers here as MEA try to breach in for the final play. Wasim in the doorway. He takes down Master, and that's going to be it. ME Assassins with the win. And they are just getting mowed down by the fire of AXT's Demon and Lord. I like this a lot better from IQM. They're keeping 3 together, and they've decided that they want to go ahead. Deal rough for the IQM side. Kevin, he's chunks. Nice stutter step, but he does it. 1v2 clutch. He's got eliminated. Meanwhile, Hackshot trying to take down Ray, but he can't quite close it in time there. He's got his angle on the shot, but he just doesn't have a fast enough arm to make it happen. As Ray rolls out, he's already moved away from the car. He does get blown by Hackshot, but he needs to get a shot in the window, and that's the detection, but Ray gets outplayed across the way. Captain coming up with the final shot. Represent 3 cover teams. This just happened. I think this fight might end up being over. Lose their nerve first, lose their positioning first, and Captain in the spot. Yeah. SNT and the shots coming in. That's gonna be it. SNT pull it off in. And now the shot's gonna come in. There we go. Looks like that'll be the open fire as they're trying to go for it once we get knocked down the rest, and they just turn it straight up into a firefight. Knocks, everything goes south for them.
And an area to be able to gatekeep all these teams.
Oh, that's gonna be Rodal.
But nonetheless, okay. So Lord is unfortunately gonna have to try and cross over.
Here comes the breach.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, once again to the PUBG Mobile Club Open. This is going to be a good day of semifinals. Already got that feeling, Tom. We got one great map on Vikendi. TRD are absolutely back, but we still have 3 more to go right now. We're going to be going over to Sanhok next, and then a double Erangel coming up next. What is your big takeaway from that first Vikendi match, though?
TRD, they're back.
They are.
Now.
What are they? What are they again?
That's
right. They're the real deal.
They are back and they are ready to cause damage.
Yep.
And if you want to have a look at the previous games in which they caused damage, was that actually the group stage, which they did really good. Yesterday they did better. Today they're doing good, and now if you want to go reflect on those, there's actually a dedicated website you can go check out.
Yeah, there's a website down below. It is clubopen.pubgmobile.com for all the stats, standings, and more. Of course, we use it to prep ourselves, so we definitely can recommend it to you guys. Now, there's also another place you can go to try and catch up on some of the action. The highlights are all hosted on our YouTube channel. It is over at youtube.com/PUBGMobile Esports, so make sure you smash that subscription button.
And ding-dong, that notification bell.
So you don't miss a minute of the action. Now, that is all out of the way. Looking forward to Sanhok right now. Of course, no Miramar, not till tomorrow. These teams hadn't played their Sanhok match for week 2 yet in groups A and C. So we'll have to see how they do. And I feel like, you know, when I asked you your favorite maps and like the pros and cons and things, there was one map that was definitely absent from your discussion. It was Sanhok, and it feels like it's because it's a very chaotic map. Hard to call.
Yeah, I mean, it's obviously the smallest one. It's the 4x4 of Vikendi is actually the obviously 6x6. And the fact that it's so small and so compound is just a little bit unfortunate, I think, in the way that PUBG plays. I remember how we were used to be demanding for a Sanhok-like map to try and cause more action earlier on, but it's come around, and we're like, okay, hang on a minute, this is a little bit too much.
That's where you've got to be careful what you wish for, Tom.
Exactly, I mean, it's pretty much that, but it is a really good map. I can't take away from it. The map design of it, the feel of it, it's so authentic to that sort of Thailand sort of feel, which I know that they used to inspire the map in the first place. So mad props to them in regards to how it plays, fast, hard, and loose, I guess.
Quite often, yeah. And I wonder how TRD is going to fare on that one by comparison. There are a couple of teams that I think could definitely take advantage of teams that are less prepared for it. The likes of Rush to Crush do come to mind because we did see them play surprisingly well on Vikendi. Was really impressed by them, and that's not something that we've been able to say for the last couple of weeks. Rush to Crush, they might have a ghost of a chance to kind of move up those standings. HeadHunterr as well, a team that honestly had fallen a bit out of favor. We weren't really keen on talking with them, or talking about them, I should say. But you know, they've definitely started to step it up a little bit, and
definitely.
See, the boys from Bahrain are back as well.
Yeah, I mean, you know what? Just talking about Rush to Crush, I think they did really good. Unfortunately, got third-partied. And then when you talk about third-partied, that's one of the other things about Sanhok. Because it's so close and because there's so many hills on it.
There is always a third party.
There's always a third party, if not a fourth party at the same time. It's a little bit unfortunate. We saw it in the group stage. We saw TRD absolutely getting knocked about by a couple of teams because they were in a compound, fighting one team, and then a third team came along, and a fourth team came along, and it was just so hectic. So that's the kind of one of the reasons why it's my less preferred map. but it does test the different characteristics of the different teams.
Yeah. Now, one other team I want to talk on before we really get into the action here on Sanhok is, of course, Kurd Squad, because they went out in 16th place. What would be your words of advice for them going into this next map?
Don't die.
Well, okay. All right. That's valid.
No, sorry. Okay.
More specifically, please.
Do your VOD reviews. Check where TRD going, and don't go to them. They're one of the best teams, and they tend to be able to win most of their fights. There's very few times, I think actually 0 times, 1 time at max that they've actually died on landing against, I think it was actually in Crates versus SWAT 69 for obvious reasons. So do your VOD reviews, view where people are going, tactically set where you're going to go. And if you've only got 3 players, you need to go and play in, like, even if you have to go compound losing and play separate, do that instead of playing in one place, because I think that's really one of the reasons why it was their downfall.
Well, hopefully they have all 4 members playing in this map number 2, but we are going out. Tom, where do you expect everyone to drop out before we get a chance to see where they go?
I think we're going to be seeing TRD potentially go over towards boot camp. I think they're ready for those fights, and I think they want to go aggressive and take on these different players here. Meanwhile, we're going to be seeing a couple of teams go down south, and then a couple of teams also going to be going towards the end of the plane. I think that's probably Loot 46. Maybe one more team might jump out towards Kampong.
Looks like it's JS. They were close, but not quite. Interesting that 2 squads, it's Rush to Crush and EM, actually up at that top island.
Yeah, so this actually could be quite easy, not quite easy, quite a good landing for them, because it's going to give them a lot of time to be able to loot. They're not going to get challenged. And AM have been fairly quiet today. They have got a few decent kills, and there is the circle, and it is on the mainland, and this is pretty much where it should land.
Yeah. Every team given TRD a wide berth at boot camp, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, I mean,
I think Hackshot had a wardrobe malfunction.
He's just taking everything off but a scarf there. I mean, fair play.
I mean, you got to stay warm, right?
I mean, no, you want to stay cold because it's actually on Sanhok, which is a little bit humid, a little bit hot. So you want to be able to avoid doing that when it comes down to it.
Fair enough. I got no answer for you. All right, so it should be a quieter start. Now, it looks like there's only 2 players that didn't load in this time. There were a lot more previously. And, well, we are underway here on Sanhok.
Yeah, and I mean, like, TRD taking the fact that they've taken this compound and no one else is challenging them, I'd be pretty pissed off if I was them. Because I'd be like, we came here to fight. Where is everyone?
Everyone realized what they did last game, and they decided, you know what, we don't actually want that. We're going to give you a nice loot round.
Everyone probably saw them crash into that compound when they had no need to. And TRD were just like, are you not entertained? And everyone was like, yeah, we are. We're going to stay the hell away from you.
Well, I think the fans would definitely have to be pretty happy about that one. And I think they'll have to be pretty happy about the fact that Kurd Squad kind of stayed nice and away from them, but they are getting into the action. You can see there was a drop down. Ebo coming up with a quick shot there. And, you know, we're back with that micro Uzi action.
Well, I mean, they really need to be popping off today, and it seems like they are going to be doing exactly that.
Check in with that, what's going on over there. We're still watching TRD, but I definitely want to see what's happening with the KA and Kurd Squad fight across the map here, as we haven't seen the circle shrink down just yet. Ooh. It's Haji that actually ends up getting eliminated by Ari. What's going on over there?
I mean, KS, or Kurd Squad, are going to have to do a lot of making up here, because they're going to have to get this, like, more points than they would have normally had to get in this game, more than their average one, because last game, they got 0 points. Even if there are 3 players, that's not an excuse. They should not be going out in 16th place, and because of that, they are lacking behind. They're technically going to be leaving today with only 3 games.
Yeah, Bubble Team, you definitely need to pick up as much as you can, and it looks like they're going on the offensive here. So this is up towards the top of the map, I believe.
There we go.
Yeah.
It was actually sort of up towards the top, just a little bit below into Pang. I'm right. Nope. It was wrong, but nonetheless, so they can actually take on KA here. This is a team that they definitely can challenge. Meanwhile, 46 Loot going to be butting heads with Headhunters fairly soon. KA actually going to be going for a run. They're trying to get away from KS here. They don't want to fight them. And I mean, I don't blame them. So Panan here. Should be a fairly decent place for them to be able to loot up, but nonetheless, we should be seeing them move away.
Yeah, we've seen a couple of cool fights actually happen here at Painan once or twice on the Sanhok rounds, because one team will take, you know, the east side of the river, one team will take the west side of the river, and it's just whoever has the better shots, right? I think KS are definitely one of the teams that can contest this. It's just good that they didn't run afoul of TRD at the start of the map.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is they're so close to TRD here, technically. They could actually shift further up north and go and bump heads with them if they're not careful, especially with the circle shift. We could actually see that exactly happening, but Rush to Crush, they've got to run from island to island here.
Yeah, they've only got 3 members actually in theirs as well, so they're one of the squads that only started out with the 3. And we will see if Rush to Crush are able to get safely over the line. KS, meanwhile, still just looting up at Pine Island. Completely unopposed for the time being. Good spot for them.
Yeah, so 46 Loot were going up against Headhunters earlier on. It seems like they've kind of separated and backed away. can't quite tell because I can't see HeadHunterrs anywhere around them. So we'll have to wait and see where they are in regards to that. But 46 loot did a little bit bad last game. They could have done a lot better. But nonetheless, we could see them pop back up into this one and get a couple of kills, which is exactly what we want to see from them. Because I think actually Sanhok and Erangel is probably their two stronger maps. I think this is probably one of their weaker ones. Sorry, Vikendi was one of their weaker ones before. But let's wait and see.
Well, so far, outside of just a couple scattered fights, we haven't seen too much. A few kills coming through here. One of the teams responsible for that, of course, was 46 Loot, the team on the screen. Another one, already picked up 2. You can see it is Kurd Squad. So, hopefully y'all are spamming those hearts in the chat because they're definitely feeding off the crowd energy from somewhere.
Hopefully, and you know what? I hope IK can do exactly that as well because they need more kills and they also need more damage because they're a little bit lacking when it comes to being able to actually get those placement points. So let's see what they can do and perform in this one. 46 Loot's still going to be rotating around here. And I think they should be in the circle fairly fine in this one.
Yeah, we should take a look back at where the circle is going to be for everybody. And there's a Groza dropping down on from this loot crate. And we'll see if there's anybody in the area to pick that one up as it just goes off to the side of the road.
Golden Boy on the KS was getting highlighted.
Yeah, he
there.
subbed in, actually.
Yeah, and I would say he's actually one of the better performing players.
I think so. We didn't see much of him for a couple of weeks, but then he started coming in. We started seeing some highlight plays out of Golden Boy, so fairly accurate name there. We'll check in on a team that we haven't seen much of since the group stages. The Light Pirates, no dancing for them. This is all serious business as they look to tango with HeadHunterrs.
I mean, they are a bubble team right now, and to be honest, if they carry on playing like they have done, I don't see them going through. I really do think they can actually just drop off the face of the earth and they won't be able to survive any further. I mean, they're down in, what position is that, 20
Light Pirates,
22nd?
Yeah, they're unfortunately in the 22nd place heading into today. Obviously, they have some games in hand, but yeah, it's a little bit rough right now if you're Light Pirates. We need to see more from this squad. Another team that we'd like to see a lot more from is 963, but the potential comparatively, I don't really think has been there. 963, they'll go in for the fights, they make the crazy plays, but they just don't usually win them.
Yeah, and I mean, if it means that they've actually they end up just improving over the course of this tournament, good. It means they can make a turn up at another tournament. They can come back into it or go into different teams.
Looks like the fight started between Light Pirates and HeadHunterrs, who are kind of caught unaware just now. Mr. Relax is going to get dropped down. Between Aras and Koro, they've actually managed to do quite a lot of damage. Hama even coming in around the side, and they're fighting in the blue. But Light Pirates don't care.
Yeah, I mean, there's only one person standing, and that's going to be Julius inside that building. And we're going to see the hunt coming out from Koro right now, and he should have an idea where this player is. Looks to jump up close to this window.
I think Light Pirates heard us talking smack, man. They're trying to prove us wrong right now. There's going to be that spray down, but Koro runs face first into a bunch of lead, and Julius so low he's going to get dropped, and it looks like that will be the full elimination for HeadHunterrs with everyone getting knocked. They just auto move off the map. 16th place for HeadHunterr.
Yeah, and so Light Pirates did get the 3 kills, but the thing is, they got 3 kills, but they're also left with 3 people. Another team that's left with 3 is actually going to be IK, and they're in the midst of fighting SNT. Not a team I'd want to be up against.
No, I think they probably want to get the heck out of Dodge right now, especially because they are fighting in the blue as it kind of moves in. A lot of teams that sort of hesitated to make the rotation. I think in this situation, Sanhok can be a little deceptive. Sometimes you're like, it's fine, it's such a small map, we can rotate fast. Wrong.
Yeah, I mean, you can rotate fast, but unfortunately, there's more players.
And the blue's
closer.
faster.
Yeah, blue's faster. And
hello.
So are the bullets when you're going to be firing from this gun.
Mustafa just lighting up Rwan, the rest of his team coming in here, and this is a kill squad on SNT. They should very easily dispatch IK. It looks like Kramik has actually moved far off, and he might be the last man standing for his team.
I think there might be 2 of them, if there is. They need to separate.
No, not for long, apparently. Meanwhile, we check back in with this other fight. Mustafa 99 trying to stutter step away from Molotov. Very difficult to do. He does manage to get away for a second. Molotov lit up as well. Turnabout's fair play.
Yeah, they're actually turning the fight on them. Kramik might actually just be able to get away with this because it seems like SNT are going to be running in the opposite direction.
Yeah, so they got to keep abreast of the blue as well, right? So, meanwhile, some of these teams we definitely expect a lot from. Molotov actually getting downed by Purge. It's a headshot from him. IQM bearing the fangs.
What are they doing? We'll have to see in a moment. So we are going to be seeing the survival of IK
there's
through
2.
this.
You called it.
Yeah.
Where's Hoger, though? That's the question. Oh, there he is. Cool. Not far away.
Distance. They're playing like IQM used to, but in the side there, you can actually KS, losing 2 players. They're going to get down.
Yeah, that's to AXT. That's not a good start for them. Meanwhile, Kramik going to try and get some revenge back for himself, but he sprays and doesn't manage to find Lashin. Meanwhile, KS, they continue to lose people here. That's the 2 eliminations. Kurd Squad, they might be in danger of dropping. I want to check back in with that fight in a minute as Mustafa gets Kramik down.
That was actually really... I'm impressed by Kramik there. He did do some really decent shots, but after his first spray, he wasn't really able to adjust his sights and being able to actually get the shots. He was able to peek them, but he wasn't able to actually hit them, which is obviously the main important part.
Yeah, so IK, unfortunately, they're down to Hoger right now, and we'll see if he's able to hang on for a little while. We have seen IK survive a lot longer than some of their fights would suggest, but it could be not so easy. Meanwhile, KS are going to turn the heat back on. They find Clown, but Ari does get dropped in return. I think KS are running out of members. We got to check back in with that fight in a minute.
I think they must only have one person because they obviously went down to 3, if I remember correctly.
At least two players were taken out. One might still be knocked. We got to check back in to confirm 100% of the way.
So we have actually seen Molotov get picked up on the AM side, so he is surviving this so far. But
oof, careful though.
as I say, that might be cursing him here. Meanwhile, Light Pirates coming under fire.
RS that gets one shot. A couple of fights happening across the way. That's Ebo knocked down. I think that's close to an elimination. We just saw the kill counter drop. I think that is Kurd Squad out in 15th place.
Yeah, there was also another team that went out as well, if I'm right in saying.
Yeah, HeadHunterr went out earlier on, right?
Yeah.
That was the first one of the fight. But this is absolute disaster for the fan favorites.
2 back-to-back.
Oh.
No, 0 points. Actually, I think they'll get some points, but it's going to be very little.
Not much.
And B52 getting peppered there from Mustafa. Oh, look at that VSS. People talk down about this gun, but
it's working now for sure. B52 and Molotov are taking heavy fire here. Quiet's going to have to do a runner just to try and get him back on his feet. AM, they unfortunately just getting third-partied across the way. It was Red Bull from LTK that started to move, and Quiet's knocked down. I think AM could be some serious trouble. It's only Butcher.
Yeah, they're going to get third-party to absolute heck here. Butcher going to be having to use a couple of bandages on also that first aid kit. The circle is going to be coming in onto TRD, the team that haven't had to move at all yet.
Oh, man, they got to be loving this right now because they're holding the biggest compound this side of Painan.
I love that. That's brilliant. B52, though, is going to be able to try and make his way inside this current circle before it shifts over. Meanwhile, IQM are going to be playing in and outside the circle.
Did AM just get dropped? That was B52 getting put in the grave. I didn't see where the rest of the team is. I think there's still one player alive, but one team definitely got eliminated. Meanwhile, Tomb facing down 4 members of LTK. One of them's on his knees here, but this is still going to be a hard numbers game to play, and Butcher is even helping out, but that's the elimination out in 13th place. Mustafa says, thanks very much. We'll take your life as well.
Well, GG, well played to them. So IQM doing a fantastic job here of taking down AM with the help of LTK in the last moment. Doing some damage to AM. A little bit unfortunate for them there, but that VSS being the hero gun for Mustafa. Now they have to get inside the blue. Well, inside the circle, not inside the blue. That'd be the opposite of what you want to do. But they've only got 3 kills on IQM. They didn't manage to get all the kills on AM, but they should be able to get further more. 963 have only loaded in 3 members, but they're still alive. Every single one of them.
I got a recommendation to make, Tom. I think Basile should get out more. He's a little paled.
A little pale, a little bit of a camping, a little bit of a snake as well. Meanwhile, Rush
I bet he knows that we were going to be observing him at some point. Oh, boy.
Those pale feats, as it were.
Yeah, Rush to Crush moving away across the bridge, of course. This can be very dangerous, but luckily there's not a whole lot of people around, so they're able to make that easily done. And here is the man of the hour, Mustafa, on the VSS, as you mentioned.
Yeah, so he has a small chance here to be able to get inside and into a decent position. His teammate is right behind him as well. Unfortunately for them, they might get found out by a couple of other members, even Rush to Crush, who might play along that edge line and find them. Meanwhile, 46 Loot going to be fighting.
Yeah, JS trying to keep their cover once again. This time they did load in with everybody, but they lost Rip already, who was the player that lasted all the way to the very end. SWAT getting knocked down by Hazem. So 46 Loot kind of come to claim what's theirs.
And there's it is.
Do you want to turn on sticky keys?
No, I hate
either.
that function.
Why does that actually exist? I just realized, I don't think anyone has ever wanted to turn that on.
I have never liked it or
Microsoft,
it.
get your act together.
Yeah, well, they did. they tried with Windows 10, but
yeah.
Either way, let's move on.
Okay, Windows 10 is actually pretty good. I'm not going to lie. Like, it's an okay, yeah. I'm still a MacBook guy, but I'm okay with that. Anyways, back to the JS fight. Mehmet is in trouble right now. He's just trying to leg it through the trees. Unfortunately, he's taking heavy fire.
It was actually LTK coming out in the fire from XG. He was just like, hello. They finally found some targets.
Yeah. Well, I mean, everyone had to come to them, right? And this is the old TRD, right? They find a good spot. Everyone gives them a wide berth because of how good they frag once they've managed to get themselves into a position. And then they just light up everyone that comes towards them. It's like what we saw yesterday with SWAT 6-9. They just make great use of compounds. Now Hazem and the rest of 46 Luke going to have to start running for the hills, trying to keep in front of the blue. Not the easiest thing to do, as it does move quickly.
Yeah, I mean, this is going to start tagging them down, and it's not even the issue, the blue, but it's more the issue the fact that they're going to have to use their meds to be able to heal from this, which is definitely going to be one of the issues. But nonetheless, TRD in a really good position, and they should be able to do a lot of damage, but because of where they are and because of how big this compound is, they'll probably get a lot of knocks, but they probably won't be able to get a lot of finishes.
No, but they can certainly start things off and just try and pick up targets as they can. Slom manages to make it past Hixie's vision. Just takes a little bit of punishment for it. The rest of LTK not moving just yet, and they do know that this is a tough opponent to face down against the IQM members looking to come into boot camp as well. And this is going to be the shift. It goes to the southwest of boot camp.
We had this one before. We actually saw MEA get the record 21 kills on this map before, thanks to this exact circle.
Yeah, that was.
So
I can't believe that, man.
Yeah, TRD are in that game, and they managed to survive to 5th place, but that was all she wrote for them. We'll have to see where they get this.
They got one chicken dinner in their pockets. I feel like they're already riding high. Let's see if the rest of Light Pirates can stay alive right now. Hama just trying to hang in the brush, but 46 Loot coming around, and I think who's going to turn on who? That's Light Pirates getting taken out of the picture in 12th place.
That was a really bad play by Light Pirates. I'm just going to call you guys out there. That was poor. Improve or get out. We'll see.
Or at least give us some dance numbers, man. I miss those.
Yeah, I mean, if you're not going to be able to get frags, just dance for us. Dance, monkey, dance. But moving on, though, just survive. Going to be still alive right now. And you know what? Attess is definitely one of their better players, so I'm glad that he's still alive right now. But in the left-hand side, we can actually see AXT, a.k.a.
SNT once again.
SNT, yeah.
I mean, this is a rematch of last round when, AXT thought they had everybody's number, but then they didn't account for Captain. We'll see how that fight ends up turning out. Still watching 46 Loot here. And even JS are getting in on RBK's side. And everyone's come to boot camp for now, but I think they should be shifting away. We will be taking a look at Captain and Mustafa as they go running through. Only seeing these two members. There is also Lashin up, not entirely healthy, but they will be looking for some revenge onto AXT. Captain opens fire. They get the down into Palat. Mustafa ends up getting the credit for that one. Hop and skip and a jump, but a bridge too far there as Clown falls down.
Yeah, so there's only going to be 2 members left from the Executor side, and they have to be so careful because they can't afford to go out this early. They need to be able to try and collect these points. They've got a decent amount in the past, but Lord, he goes down.
Yeah, this is the unfortunate thing you hate to see for AXT. They looked great in the group stages, but I feel like unlike a lot of teams that have been scaling up, this team's been scaling down.
Yeah, it's more the fact that they've not actually been able to scale at all. I think that's pretty much it. It's the fact that they've not been able to keep up with the meta, which then causes a bigger issue, the fact that they're not able to evolve with the meta, which is a lot of these teams have been doing.
STR get third party, though. It's worth mentioning. RBK, they turn their heat on. The sights were there. Mustafa just unloaded all the bullets he had in his clip onto that one. Demon does get dropped down, and I think that's close to an elimination. Palat is going to get healthy, but he might be not the last man standing. Well, technically so, because there is still one that's on his knees.
Yeah, there is actually JS who are going to come in and probably third party this. So this is going to be an interesting situation because...
A bit of a vulture strat.
Yeah, if they push in, SNT could actually get a couple of free kills on them. Meanwhile, RBK did pick up their member. They're going to be able to survive for now.
Yes, indeed. Moomin and the rest of 46 Loot have arrived as well. So these compounds going to be coming at a premium pretty soon. Meanwhile, back over at boot camp, Red Bull goes on a run, but TRD have already packed up and gone home, so he might need to find himself a vehicle. There's a car there, but that one doesn't look like it's going to start.
Yeah, even if he had the keys for that, doesn't seem like it'd go anywhere. So he's going to get hit by this blue quite hard. By the time he gets in, he's going to have to use a lot of his meds.
Where's his team?
Still alive somewhere.
Yeah, they must have taken off without him.
Yeah, I can't even see them anywhere.
Don't you hate it when your squad pieces out and you're not even there? Yeah, the rest of them, they've moved over to the north side of boot camp, and now the next circle. We are getting a lot of water on these maps today, Tom. This one is going to be right in the middle of the river.
Yeah, I mean, it is possible for it to go on either side, I think, at this point, just due to the way the circle's formed. It could go... I'd imagine it to go on the side where TRD are and Rush to Crush, but we'll see. Red Bull does use healing, but he's only got 1 first aid kit, 2 energy drinks, and 4 bandages left, and he gets the knock.
Spray down onto Mehmet, had no idea what hit him right now, so a test is down. The only member remaining for Just Survive. That feels bad, man.
He poked the beast. TRD heard those shots. They're going to be coming. They want those kills.
Mustafa throws the smoke down. He's going to try and get Captain back up on his feet. This is the 2-member squad of SNT. As we mentioned, though, 2 very powerful members of a very strong squad trying to survive as long as possible. A test as the blue comes in. Red Bull goes running, and he definitely knows how to dance because he was dodging those bullets. He gets back down on his belly once again, taking the damage from the blue. A test going running as well. Honestly, it's the fight between these 2 members, but Red Bull still got his teammates just somewhere else available, and that's the end to Just Survive.
I think he probably should have actually just picked up that couple of bits of those loot, but he didn't really have the time, so he's going to be pushing in nonetheless and hoping that he can survive. And now it's going to be TRD versus Rush to Crush.
See if they can take him out here. Kevin is already dropped down, but as you mentioned before, he's the in-game leader. He doesn't always have to be the one first in the firefight, so while he's down, he can still give his team a whole lot of value. Hackshot does get dropped by Slom. LTK coming into third party. This one is Nasser. Takes him out. Mojrem dropped by Hixie in the opposite side, but this is still a little hectic for TRD.
This is not looking so good for TRD. They're going to be suffering many losses. SNT going to be down to 1 person. LTK still alive. everything is popping off right now.
Yeah, RBK onto KA, and they're just kind of starting to get hit too much right now. A little heavy, hot for them. Wolf going swimming through the river, and the circle will shrink down. We've still got a lot of water here. This one favors Rush to Crush, though.
Yeah, I mean, Rush to Crush could really do well to just survive through this. It's all going to depend on how LTK do in this fight. Oh.
Yeah, we went so far off the map that we had to go into the break screen for a second there. Wolf is going swimming off the way. Zero going to try to keep chucking those nades down, see if he can get his teammate up. Well, Hixie is healthy. They only have 2 members remaining, so the odds are starting to get even just a little bit more here. 963 are still in the picture with 6 teams remaining. Not sure how the heck that happened, but they've definitely been very quiet, avoiding the confrontation.
It's that three-team or 2-team member meta coming in. But Rush to Crush going to be under fire here from one of the best teams. Let's see how they can do.
Moomin spraying down loss from KA, and that's down to 5 teams. He thought he was hiding. He wasn't fooling anybody.
His legs were like completely out the back of the thing. He didn't even realize.
No, hey, if I can't see them, they can't see me, right? That's how the whole thing goes. Rez coming up here. Although the turnaround, oh, Rush to Crush. They thought they were rushing, but they got crushed instead.
And quite deservedly so. And now they're going to have to do a quick recovery because the blue is coming. And
That's
it's going to be
Rush to Crush member.
Yeah, it's going to be unforgiven. Unfortunately for TRD, they've got some of the very small amount of cover, but IQM could make a purchase here.
I love it. They're just so good at like just staying hidden right now. Mustafa's just keeping his head just below the water while Wolf has got his poked out over on the 963 side. Here's the rest of the teams remaining. BCL, Lorenz, and Aboud are all taking up residence on different parts of this island, or of this kind of edge of the water. 2 members of TRD here in the compound, and then 46 loot. I feel like this is technically still anyone's round. As Illusion opens up on a BCL. Should be able to get close to getting him down. He gets behind cover in time.
His pale legs gave him away.
Once again.
But you know what? I'll give you this. What if 963 win this?
That would be crazy. Honestly, I take back everything I said about them because the chicken dinner really does start to turn things around. Now, Mustafa's the last remaining member of IQM, and he's going swimming.
And TRD,
ESS hero earlier.
Yeah, and TRD going to be doing their best to be able to get a bit of a better compound, and they're going to be doing that. Not compound, but building, and that's what happened with Hixie. He jumped across, but took a bit of fire damage, and now he's going to be looking to drop a nade right next to 963.
Yeah, might be able to turn on him right now. Doesn't find it down, doesn't find the drop, so he gets healed up. So a little quiet here with 10 players alive, 4 teams remaining. Bandage is on for Hixie. This is going to be needed for the final confrontation.
Yeah, he's actually got a decent amount of meds, so he's going to be able to recover from this quite nicely. BCL has made it across into the compound as well, which is a massive surprise, and 963 looking really healthy here, but unfortunately for them, they may well just get third-party here.
They might. Zero already starting with a good shot onto one of the last remaining players still in this game.
Oh!
Nate's coming out. Great job. Lorenz had no idea that was laying at his feet, and Hixie's been solid today.
Delivery for Lorenz. Right
Please sign
to
here.
his feet. Didn't even need to sign, mate. They didn't care. They just dropped it off at his feet.
Yeah. So let's see Amazon Prime do that, huh?
Well, 46 loot are going to be coming in, and they're potentially the team to win this.
Yeah, IQM lose their last remaining member, so we're down to 3 teams. 46 loot, TRD, and 963. The big surprise of today here on Sanhok. We'll see if they can do it. Nades coming flying here, but they're just bouncing off the roof for the time being. See if any smokes come through as Moomin. Unfortunately, they're running out of room here. Zico a little bit low, and the Blues coming in hot, so let's see if they can make it happen. Right now, trying to light him up, and it looks like they do take down Zero, knock him down. There's going to be 1 healthy member remaining. It's Hixie inside the house. The first aid kit coming up. Hixie in the fire. There's going to be TRD going out in 3rd place, but he moves quickly, and he's going to use his first aid kit.
And he's going to be able to stop burning, drop off that meds, maybe pop an energy drink.
If he can clutch this, man, Hixie is a legend.
If anyone could do it out of his team, I think it's him. He could definitely do it. And 963 are going to be clashing heads with 46 loot.
46 loot have all 4 members remaining, though. This is scary, and this is what we were talking about. They aren't just about the defense. They can go on attack as well. We'll see Hazim trying to open up on a 963. Unfortunately, they're looking a little bit more like cannon fodder, but they are still alive with 3 members in this game. Energy drink pop by Hazim.
This just favors 46 loot completely. They've got the compounds. Hixie hasn't. He has to push out into the open and try and flank around near the river edge, which is still possible, but very difficult.
Is inside this compound. Hixie is just going to go full snake right now, trying to open up onto anybody he can find here as he plays up against the blue. The shot's coming. I think this might be it, but TRD, no, still in this. Hixie gets the down, starts to go for the run here, finding as much cover as he possibly can, as much as he dares. Somehow no one takes a shot on him right now.
He is so close to danger. He pushes in. He gets the knock.
This guy must be protected by plot armor. I don't know what the heck I'm seeing here, but Hixie's still in this one. There's only 6 players alive, and he is one of them. Moomin and the rest of Loot 46 coming through, but it's 963 that come in. They get a little impatient. They start dropping, and now it is all down to 4v1. 46 Loot versus Hixie.
And they're going to be looking to push in here. The knowledge is here.
Hixie down! Hixie's still in this one. He's still somehow managing. He has the 2 downs. There's only 2 players remaining. He'll get the finishing blow. and he's just going to have to push out as the blue comes in. Bandage is coming on, but I can't believe this against all odds. TRD's Hixie holding the line.
What an insane player coming out from here, but he's going to have to move first, and 46 Luke, they know this, and he needed to move by now, but he's been a little bit too slow trying to recover some of that health, but unfortunately the other team are going to be able to do exactly that as well. The information's here, the push coming out.
Hold on, he's moving around the side. He gets the drop. It's a 1v1. Can he do it? Hixie! Can he be the hero? Giving away the information. Spray, that's there. He's trying to heal up right now, just waiting for the bandages to start to come up in time. This blue is closing in pretty hot. He does get the finishing blow, goes for the reload right now. It's all down to Zico versus him, and Hixie has done it! What an absolute legend!
A 1v4 situation, a massive play coming out from this guy. Hixie got to be the MVP of today. That was an insane play, probably the best play we've seen all together throughout the whole of this tournament.
I do not believe that round. Double chicken dinner coming in here off the back of Hixie pulling off the 1v a billion people clutch, man. At that point, I was just like, I don't even know how many people were left. 963 were in there with 3 members. I think it was 4 from 46 Loot, so that was at least 7. And there were still a couple teams involved when he was the last man standing. How did he do that?
He took no prisoners. He jumped in there. He got the kills onto 963. He got the knocks onto 46 Loot. Was able to move into the new and last compound. Not compound, sorry, building. And that just really highlighted it for him. And talk about highlights, let's move on inwards into the first highlights here. LP coming on a 5 from HeadHunterrs. Eventually get knocked down. And then S&T taking care of IK members. But what a game. I'm not recovered from that. Hixie, what the hell?
Yeah, we're going to see that in a minute. You could see, of course, this is where AM got really heavily third-partied and just could not keep up with the heat. Captain managing to turn it on to the AX team members, and then S&T as well. Turnabout was fair play because RBK came to play for the day. And, well, S&T, they were able to turn him away, and I've run out of rhymes, unfortunately.
Yeah, well, KA also ran out of time, unfortunately, because that bush was just not good enough for him. His legs were sticking out the back. And
it's just not big enough, man. There's not enough pixels for that one. Here's where it all started to really turn, though. It was a great nade out. That was just one of many plays from Hixie as he manages to get the down onto Lorenz. Of course, Zero is still up. Moomin and the rest of 46 Loot come in here. They start cleaning house, and we think, all right, 46 Loot are back. We'll see what they can do. But Hixie, how does he not get touched? This man just matrixed about 20 bullets.
And the fact that he managed to play around this side and he took a judgment call, I have to push in here. Unfortunately for him, he played against a lesser opponent, got the play on him, got the shots. That was the moment this whole thing turned around.
First aid kit comes up just in time for him to open fire, spraying in one after another. This man just looked like an absolute god here, and all of a sudden it was down to a 1v3. He gets the one around the side. The information going to be given, of course, but it's truly a 1v1. We don't even need to see the end of it, and you look at how it went down. Of course, this is 9 through 16. We'll take a look at the top afterwards. But once again, a lot of teams that we were hoping to see more of. Kurd Squad still down there in 14th place. It's kind of easy to gloss over what happened in the bottom because of in the top, you got 11 kills for the real deal and another chicken dinner.
Yeah, I mean, I have to say that's 84 points in total today in just 2 games from them. Fantastic consistency from them. But 46 Loot at 963 and IQM all at the top here. These are not teams I think we expected to be up here. 46 Loot have been a fantastic team in the past, but not like that.
Yeah, 963, honestly, I do want to give a lot of kudos to them. We talk about them being a lesser team just because they're not so accurate on the fire. You could see what happened there when they had superior numbers. But the fact that they survived till the final 3 gives them a lot of credit. They knew where to go. They knew what they could do. And, of course, Hixie was the damage leader, just shy of 1,500. A lot of it towards the very end of that game.
Yeah, I mean, that's close to, what, 500, over 500 damage more than he needed for the 9 kills he got. So he was consistent, did a lot of damage. Talking about damage, let's have a look at this. So 46 Loot
actually out-damaged the real deal, but Hixie was the one that really carried the day, as it were. They did get the kills, advantage to them. I want to give some big credit to the Egyptian side, but man, how about these guys? TRD from Lebanon coming up hot. We will compare Hixie, the hero, up against Hazem from 46 Loot. 9 kills out of the 11 that Hixie got. That's massive.
That is incredible. So that means we only saw a couple of kills coming out from the other players.
I mean, he carried the day, but TRD, they have a solid squad all around, but this was his turn to really step it up. And Zero, he got the 2 other kills for the team, 692 damage to boot. He was pretty solid on the scope. Zico managed to match him just about, though.
Yeah, it was really good plays coming out from Zico, actually. I think I saw him a couple of times play well. Same with the rest of 46 Loot, actually. I was pretty pleased with how they played as a team because they managed to, if one of them went down, they managed to pick him up within a sort of decent amount of time. We saw that at the end there. They were trying to pick each other up. And then we see...
we're just going to highlight him again because of how good he was.
We're just showing him off here, guys. Alush. Again, one of the players I'd say is actually pretty decent on the 46 Loot side. We did see him fail a little bit last game, but he came in this time and really helped his team deliver. Even if he only got 1 kill, we got 400 damage, which helped them secure those 14 kills in the end. So mad props to all teams played, especially TRD, obviously. Like, we have to give it to them. But I think more importantly, we have to give credit where it's due. 963, 46 loot, Rush to Crush.
And IQM as well.
And IQM, yeah. And I mean, Rush to Crush, they were actually completely outcircled. They had to go for that rotation. They played very carefully and very calculated, and that really worked out for them in the long run.
No, I think you're absolutely right. Now, if you missed any of the action today or in the tournament so far, want to wonder about how TRD got to the point where they are with the 2 chicken dinners, go ahead and go to our website. Down at the bottom of the screen, it is clubopen.pubgmobile.com for all the information on the players' standing stats and up-to-the-minute info as well as news. You can find all of that and more there. But in addition, if you want to catch some of those highlights, if you can't get enough of them like us, there is a place you can go. It is youtube.com. Our channel is, of course, youtube.com/PUBGMOBILE Esports. Don't forget to smash that subscription button.
And ding-dong, that notification bell.
So you don't miss a minute of the action, of course. That has been fantastic. 2 rounds, TRD. We haven't had any team take more than 2 chicken dinners in a single day, Tom. But the way that the real deal are playing right now, we might just see that record shattered.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen this from TRD before. This is not something that's strange. They performed fantastically in the group stage, but they were very lackluster last week, but they've come through shining, and hopefully we can see them actually get the 3rd chicken dinner and actually break that combo. They can get the turkey.
Ooh, yeah, just moving on up. We're getting the advantage. We're just moving on the birds. Well, we are going to have to see after that. We will be taking a short break. When we return, we'll finish out the night with a couple of Erangels. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back with more of the PUBG Mobile Club Open.
Shot gets dropped down by Galiko. What a brilliant shot. Reef's taken out. That's actually a steal away by Sniper right there, although he is going to get eliminated pretty soon. But Fazah gets down, run and gun as they go. The Hunters member starting to lose right now, but it's going to be Morzy that gets knocked down by the blue. Tiny little position for TRD go, but they are dangerous when cornered back against the wall. Hackshot going to get dropped down the spray. Now it looks like they are going to be moving towards the iKurdTeam. You see them pushing against UN. They got 2 knocks. It looks like it might be a little bit more, but there's going to be some strength in numbers here as MEA try to breach in for the final play. Wasim in the doorway. He takes down Master, and that's going to be it. ME Assassins with the win. And they are just getting mowed down by the fire of AXT's Demon and Lord. I like this a lot better from IQM. They're keeping 3 together, and they've decided that they want to go ahead.
Welcome back, everybody, once again to the PUBG Mobile Club Open. We are getting into the final stretch of this second day here, and week 2 of the semifinals. It's a long mouthful, but trust me, there's only so many more maps to play, and 2 of them, Erangel coming up next. I don't know if any of them, though, Tom, can top the action we just witnessed. Hixie left a trail of dust and blood in his wake. That man took no prisoners.
A bunch of 963 bodies and Rush to Crush bodies and a few other ones as well, but ended up with him in a 1v4 situation with
46 as well, man. That was nuts.
Loot. I mean, like, you got to give him massive praise there.
Yeah, honestly, there's nothing we can take away from TRD, and especially Hixie, who stepped up into the hero. Like, that was almost a defining moment of the tournament for me. We've had good plays. We've had amazing clutches. We've had cool 1v1s, but that might be the best play that I've seen in PUBG Mobile so far. Yeah,
I mean, we've had 1v2s, we've had 1v1s, we've had 2v4s sort of situations.
We've had numbers facing off against other numbers.
But
it's
nothing,
pretty crazy.
But
nothing like that.
Nothing like that. And they didn't even get the most kills. 46 looted. They got 14 kills, so hats off to them.
Well, he got 9 kills. He got the vast majority of his team's kills by himself in that moment, because he also managed to finish off players because he was not letting them give information to their teammates. Yeah, I mean, he went in for the finishes, made sure he got those kills, all important in the end, picking up 84 points over 2 games, back-to-back chicken dinners, going in for that turkey dinner. Yeah, so turkey is apparently what a third chicken dinner is. Is this official, or have you just made this up? It's like bowling, right? Bowling is the third strike. It's a turkey, you just get 3 strikes. Yeah, it's a turkey. They call it. Who calls it turkey? It might be a British thing. But I'm pretty sure it's a British thing. Let's go with that. Yeah, go for the turkey. So what's a 4th chicken dinner then? I have no idea. Turducken. That's what they have. That's what we have in America. It's a chicken Or it's a duck stuffed into a chicken, stuffed into a turkey. It's a weird thing Americans do, trust me. We had to, like, transition away because that's a producer's way of telling us, what are you doing? Stop talking about turducken. Because we're onto Erangel! And look at that plane path coming in from the island all the way up to George.
This is actually a similar one we've seen in the one of the other days. I think it was actually yesterday, where it pretty much went up towards George Pool, and then the second game actually went over towards the other side, towards Kremeski, or down towards the other side. But either way, actually a pretty decent circle with all things considered. So we're going to be able to see a
lot of military drops.
Yeah, so we're going to be able to see Executors drop into their usual spot, which is actually on Military Island. Kurd Squad, though, they're going to be hot dropping in towards Novo. And unfortunately, they're going to be facing off against SNT. And you know what? Last time we saw a team go up against one of the other SWAT teams, didn't end up so well for them.
Yeah, and it looks like we already see some firefight happening before everyone's even dropped down. We'll have to check in with that one. I kind of feel like Kurd Squad might be in a situation where they just feel like they have to go big and go bold because they were one of those bubble squads that's in danger of not getting enough points to qualify for the top 16. And for the crowd favorites, that would be absolute disaster. Yeah. So we'll see that fight early on, already on Novo's crates. Captain's knocked already, though.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is they went out 16th, and then they went out 15th. So
they'll go out 14th this time. No. Hopefully not for them.
Steady improvements. Hopefully. I mean, they knocked one of the better performing players out so far. That
is uncharacteristic of S&T. I don't think they expected the hot drop.
Look at those hot pants there. Jesus.
I mean, the fashion game has been on point today.
and with the VSS as well. And also the new pistol.
Oh, Captain's eliminated by Ari.
Yeah,
he may look good, but unfortunately he's dropped dead.
Yeah, and he did actually have the new pistol that's in the game, the pistol machine gun.
Yeah.
It was actually the Scorpion.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is actually fairly decent. That's the first time I think we've seen it. Nonetheless, backing into this. So Golden Boy is going to be backing up Aibo. This is actually an interesting situation for them. They could walk away from this dominant, and they could actually take over crates. They've got the advantage.
Going big and going bold sometimes pays off. It can be a bit of a coin flip, but this gambit certainly has worked, and we've seen teams face off against superior foes on crate fights and actually come out ahead. There's always a little bit of uncertainty here, but at Novo, I wonder where the circle will drop. We actually talked about the fight immediately, so we didn't even see where the circle ended up getting placed.
Yeah, we haven't seen it yet. I do know that TRD, I think they might have actually gone Pachinki or after that, because we kind of switched away before we could fully see. So we'll switch back to that in a bit. Meanwhile, I think KS have to keep in mind that they're currently too busy with this, and they need to focus on to potentially other bits, but that grenade is going to be great.
Narcos, he's got it. Oh, he runs for it. Okay, saw that one in time. This is SNT even does a bit of an emote back and forth. SNT, I mean, they're not a team to get caught unawares. As surprising as that fight must have been for them. You see one of the players is wrapping around here because Narcos is very close to the likes of Ebo and Golden Boy, just the crate separating them.
Yeah, I think Ari's actually jumped into the water and is now swimming around. This is going to be an interesting situation.
That is going to be a flank.
Yeah, that's actually really good news for them, but I think Narcos is probably going to be able to tell, or one of the other teammates. But we'll see what happens with them. I would actually like to move away from this and see everything else. But good news, 16 teams came in and 64 players. So that's actually, I think, the first time so far today. No disconnects early on. Oh, Golden Boy is trying to do some bait shots and shooting towards someone else. I'm not quite sure what he thinks that's going to achieve, but maybe we'll achieve something. You never know.
Yeah. I mean, Narcos is very isolated from the rest of his team right now as they've kind of moved to South Novo. Ooh. Narcos, let's see what he can do, is getting a bit of high ground. That is dangerous, though.
Yeah, I mean, you have to keep in mind that he's making a lot of noise.
Drop down. Ari managing to make the play here, so it's going to be down to Lashin and Mustafa. And they looks like they're just going to seed this ground up. But unfortunately, if they go to Military Island properly, well, what's going to happen? They run into AXT with 2 members.
Yeah, and I mean, you know what? Mad props to KS. They're finally performing in this one. They didn't have the straight-off advantage. They had to fight for it, and they took it, and they managed to walk away with 2 kills so far, and hopefully going to be able to lend to their dominance in this area and make SNT back off. But you know what? SNT, they don't need these points. All they'd be doing these kills for is for the win and the honor for it. But it does seem like they're going to be running away. But the point is, they could have stayed here, done damage to the KS, and there's a circle. So we'd actually see it, and it's probably going to be landing in closer to 963, and we've actually seen 963 do pretty decent in towards Gatka in the past. Probably one of the better performing areas. TRD, meanwhile, over towards Saverni.
Yeah, and you've seen a couple more crate plays coming out different sides of the map here for 46 loot. That circle is actually awful for KS because they have to go so far. There's almost certainly going to be bridge guarding going on. You saw HeadHunterr actually nearby that one. So you won the fight, but I feel like you need to move fast, KS.
Yeah, they don't really have much time to be able to deal with this one because they will get camped out for this one, and a lot of teams will know where they landed if they've been paying attention, and hopefully they'll camp them out. And that Aibo is going to be able to loot up a little bit. That's a decent area to loot up. Meanwhile, over here in Pachinki, we're going to be seeing AM versus LTK. Interesting situation here for these guys. AM, one of the teams that's been able to dominate on this Pachinki area before. Are they going to be able to do it again? It's their time to shine. LTK, you know what? Red Bull last game, he impressed me. He had some really good shots.
He had some good plays. You know, we've talked about how LTK as a team haven't really lived up to the expectations that they set in a couple of really solid rounds during the group stages, but maybe they can turn things around here. Butcher does open fire on a Mojram. This is a good split, actually, for the LTK side. They got 2 in front, different buildings, 2-way in the back.
And hopefully those guys in the back do actually have a sniper or some kind of scope, because that would be ideal in this kind of situation. I mean, if you have a look at Butcher, he's on top of his roof. He has a level 1 helmet, so that's an easy one-tap from the Kar 98. I mean, even if he had a level 2 helmet, it'd still be one-tapping on that front. So we'll have to see on that front. But even with an AI, it's actually a double tap, so it's not too bad. Meanwhile, Red Bull with the micro Uzi is just sitting here, or lying here.
What is it with these micro Uzi? It's like all they can find, I guess.
Yeah. Well, sometimes. Looking at the loot balance, it actually looked fairly decent as to what it should be. So I'd have to play a bit with those settings myself, a little bit more anyway, to see how the loot is sort of spread out. But I think it should be fairly decent. I think it's more of choice, because it's sort of a high fire rate, and a lot of these fights do tend to happen up close.
These aren't that far away. Yeah, that's kind of hitting the nail on the head there. We've seen people spray distance-wise, going for some of those cars. Not this time around. And this is what AM actually really loved to do on those Pachinki fights. We saw it when they used to face off against TRD back in the earlier stages. Feels like ages ago. They would just get on the rooftops, especially Butcher.
Yeah, and I mean, they actually played really well on those rooftops. I mean, and that's exactly why he's back up there. AM are not a team I'd want to contend with. Even if I was TRD and I knew AM are in my game, I would actually opt to go away from Pachinki, because they're a team that can contend against you.
They hold it well. They really do. Like this is one of their favorite drop zones, and even TRD didn't want to take it on because they did it a lot of the times, but they found them to be stubborn enough to hang on. Even if they would win a fight, they'd lose a couple members, and it would really dim their chances to win the next round.
And this is one of the things I actually love, and I want to see develop even further as we go on into this. Hopefully, through the finals, we're going to be seeing teams actually have dedicated areas, like TRD. They've been taking Severny, and they've rotated over there. We saw the playing path. They actually went off towards Georgeport. They had to get cars and go to Severny, but they did it nonetheless. And we saw this come in towards the end of group stage. Worked fantastically for them, and they've started to continue on. And now Circle is going to be shifting in, but we're going to have to see a lot of teams, like we can see SNT still bridge camping at the moment. Execute is going to have a couple of friends bumping heads with them soon.
Interesting. Look just off the screen. You can see that the KS members have actually gone as far south as you can. I can't tell if they're actually off the island or if they're just towards the edge of it, but they're trying to avoid AXT and kind of tail them as they leave the unguarded. Yeah, as they leave the unguarded bridge. So that's really interesting, because you see HeadHunterr are over by that one, actually closer to Milta. And that actually might allow KS to get away from it.
Yeah, so they should be able to cross that bridge, but it depends on what Executor decides to do. If they notice they're getting tailed, then they might well just stop on that bridge and really cause some pain to the Kurd Squad team. But meanwhile, LTK is still in this face-off against AM right now. They should be fairly safe, but they have to be careful as to what sort of fights they kind of take. So we'll see. Butcher still up on here, and this is good and all, but unfortunately, this is kind of comes down to what we're talking about, the fact that AM are pretty strong at what they're doing, but them doing it like this actually just distracts them on what and how they play, because they're going to be distracted and they're not busy looting up, they're not actually getting fights, they're not getting a good rotation, they're just stuck in limbo right now. So you have to be careful how long you get stuck in this limbo.
Yeah, especially when, the rotations are going to force everyone to make moves. The only team actually in this next one, apart from Rush to Crush, I should say, is 963 directly in the center at Gatka. Everybody's coming in over ruins.
Yeah, I mean, I called it that it was going to land over towards these guys, and that's exactly what has happened. So we're going to be seeing Execute across the bridge. We don't know where KS members are. But
should be not too far behind.
Or they went for the water.
Man, what a motorcade that AXC actually developed. That's like 3-4 vehicles for them. But yeah, the bridge unguarded here, so we will see probably KS slip by them after the fact if they didn't notice them before. Still, though, 62 players live. All 16 teams remaining in this one, even with S&T in a weakened situation. And this is a lot more like what we saw yesterday. As opposed to the first two maps, Vikendi and Sanhok, very chaos-inducing. This Erangel map, everybody's got the meta down pat.
It's actually really strange, because we saw the flip of this yesterday. So we actually saw Vikendi obviously go to 20 minutes with 14 teams. And then Erangel went a little bit faster. And so far, we've actually seen a bit of a slower pace game to Erangel. As I say, that micro Uzi does come out from LTK, Mr. Red Bull.
Yeah, you hear that rat-a-tat-tat? Red Bull starting off hot right now, and it looks like it's B52 that eats the lead on the opposite side. Smoke should come down. Butcher should be able to heal up his teammates.
I think that second smoke went a little bit too far. Oh, no, it was actually perfect. Good play to them.
Yeah. Don't doubt Butcher's aim. Come on, Tom. No, it's definitely a human mistake if it can't happen, but he has been able to turn it around. Meanwhile, XT starting out onto KS. They baited them all along, and it looks like that was a car explosion. We must have missed it. Hope we get that one in a replay.
I think they have one member standing. I think KS have one member alive right now, but we'll have to return to that in the moment because AM are currently under fire. They managed to get knocked down on Red Bull.
Yeah, who's going to be the king of Pachinki? That's the question on everyone's minds here right in this fight. B52 taking a lot of damage, but he does get back onto his feet. Butcher was leading the cover fire as Quiet got him back up. Honestly, AM don't need to win this, though. They have the position to turn around into the circle, but it looks like they want to take some kills. Meanwhile, Slom, he thought he was safe, but he wasn't. Butcher does get dropped down in exchange. Mojrim turns it on him.
They're still playing on top of the building, saying Mr. Molotov on top of the building, which actually overlooks these two players, and Red Bull is going to go out to Quiet. He managed to get a grenade in there. Really well played. Meanwhile, Butcher's going to get picked up, and we look at Molotov. He's actually got LTK's player 99 just stuck behind a car.
Yeah, there's really nothing he can do, unfortunately. And he can just keep the sights trained on him as the blue will slowly tick its way in. AM are not entirely healthy, though. You look at those health bars on Butcher and B52, they need to backtrack.
They haven't got loot. So you can actually see the reason why he had to drop off there and allow one of the LTK members to be able to potentially move away.
Freeze 99 now.
Yeah, because he had to drop off his loot because they're so focused on taking LTK, they're going to be underprepared for late game. They're not going to have the same loot, same bullets, same armor, or same meds.
That's not great. And this is, honestly, this is kind of some tunnel visioning that we kind of expect a little bit more from the AM side.
Yeah, I think it's because they probably expected to be able to have an easier time, and that may well come through now because Moram is just going to be so low.
He does get the first aid kit up, but I think AM smelled some blood right now. They do want to make the plays. Now, 99 didn't move from this car, which means Molotov is right back training his sights on top of him as he moves this time. He does manage to get away, but it was a close miss. Mojrim does get dropped down. Meanwhile, Molotov coming through there, fighting into the blue, trying to take out LTK before the end of it all. Slom does get dropped, courtesy of Butcher, who will pick up the kill credit for this one. Looks like LTK might be the first team eliminated if Arab Madness have their way, but the next circle's coming in, and it's going central. We have got ourselves a Gatka.
Called it. Well, there you go. 963. You're going to be able to get full
profit.
Advantage on this one. Exactly. That's what I get called in my
Profit
times.
weef.
Daddy weef, I think you find. But
I'm not calling you that.
TRD are going to be making that rotation. I think they'll land in the compound just below the massive mountain there above Gatka. Meanwhile, AM are going to be able to loot up, and they really need to do this. They still won't have many meds because LTK were also distracted and also had to use a lot of meds in the meantime to try and survive their fight. Back to 963, the first time we're seeing them actually.
Yeah, this is at Gatka, so we were already seeing that they were one of the few teams well within the circle. Looks like Rush to Crush actually coming and moving up in a caravan as well. But they've kind of found themselves a little bit further out to the west, so they'll be all right for the time being, trying to avoid the action rather than go straight towards it, which is definitely some development out of this side.
Development, yes. Improvement, yes. Really enjoying this kind of look from Rush to Crush.
I thought you were going to say no. I'm like, that is the inflection you use for no. And then I'm like, you said yes. I'm like, oh, I got you baited by you, Tom. You are genuinely giving a compliment.
You made an assumption. How
did.
dare you?
I did. Well, you know, usually informed by lots and lots of casting with you over the last several weeks.
Which has been absolutely fantastic, gotta say.
Likewise. Ooh, oh, hello. That's a drive-by.
Yeah, yeet.
Safe one. Yeah, no, he, to borrow a TikTok term, he yeeted out of there.
He drank some yeet juice and he yatted through them.
Is a past tense of yat?
I have no idea.
I thought it was yeeted. I don't know. I'm too old for this anymore. Like, someone get me a... We're millennials, but somebody get me like a Gen Z or whatever and explain to me what the heck that means.
I was going to say wheelchair, but either way, 46 loot are going to be fairly decent.
Only 29, how dare you?
They're going to be right next to Chopsticks and Gatka as well. So we actually saw a fantastic performance from these guys back at the end of group stage where they performed fantastically in this compound where they actually managed to take the win and also a huge amount of kills. I think it was 11, which for them was great. They obviously got 14 kills last game, so they definitely improved on it. So they're even more dangerous. Meanwhile, we're going to be seeing executors in this compound. So they made it all the way from Military Island all the way over to just below Quarry.
And they should have picked up 3 kills from that explosion we saw earlier onto the KS side, so severely weakening their opposition that was tailing them. And speaking of severely weakened, it's SNT down to 2. Remember, it's only Mustafa and Lashin, and they're just going to be crawling through. But we've seen this team work miracles with less players.
Yeah, and I mean, I think it was last game they were really punished as well because I think they only had 2 members
They are heavily third party. That was the other thing. I mean, they you don't expect anybody, even TRD. Well, then again, maybe with Hixie, to really survive out in those situations. Yeah. Even like Pirates still alive here. I have to wonder who's going to be the first team to drop, because apart from LTK, we haven't seen anybody be eliminated just yet.
Live Pirates, what are you doing? That they're still in the blue. Like this time, this just kind of shows.
At least
like,
they're close to the circle, but yeah.
I'm sorry, it's just not even good enough.
Oh, and there's another shift. Gatka's still in the picture. Yeah,
well, maybe people should be coming to me for their fortunes, because RNG is in my favor. I called it correctly, and unfortunately...
what do you see in your crystal ball now, Tom?
I need to go buy a lottery ticket, apparently. So we are going to be seeing Live Pirates make it into the circle, but unfortunately for them, it shifted hard away from them, and they're going to have to go through a couple of teams to be able to get there, and they're not going to be the only ones who are going to have to do this, and that Orm is going to land right in between a couple of teams here. RBK and I think 963.
I think RBK will win the fight for that one right now, and they should go for it, to be honest, because while 963 were good at surviving, not quite as good at getting the shooting down.
Force.
He is
floating.
I love when I see that.
He is zen.
He's kind of cruising, you know? It's kind of like being on roller skates.
As he goes through. Either way, LP.
Transcendence over there?
Transcendence, yeah. Either way,
right.
I think this rotation path for a lot of these teams is going to be really dangerous. As I say that.
Light Pirates right into the sniper's nest, it looks like. They did get lit up, and meanwhile, S&T's Mustafa already starting off, and the fight back on AXT commences. This is not a great number advantage for them, as it's 2-on-4. Maybe Mustafa could even those odds. He does get taken very low, but he gets a knockdown onto Lord, who is split. Should be able to finish him off. No, can't quite do it over the cover.
Yeah, unfortunately for him, he's a very low-end
executor. Oh, Lashin's driven away. Mustafa getting 2 downs, man. He's going for the clutch.
What is going on here?
Lit up by the back. It looks like it was a Lush third party. No, excuse me. They're fighting out with Rush to Crush right now. There's the finisher as Demon hops over the barrier. However, they lose Lord. They have 2 knocks. Demon's the last man standing right now for AXT. He will get him back up. And it's Mustafa who gets taken out. Lashin is still up, though, behind the house.
Lashin is definitely one of the ones that can clutch this. Mustafa trying to get through the house right now, but he's going to bleed out before it's possible to be able to get him.
Yeah, just in time. He makes it back to his teammate, says, avenge me. And Lashin goes through the smoke and goes for broke. Can he find the damage? He sprays, he prays, doesn't find purchase, and he's taken out of there. Valiant effort by S&T's Lashin, but they will drop in 14th.
That was so unfortunate to see. That should have been S&T's to be able to clutch, because he just went mental. Mustafa, definitely one of the top players for S&T. We've seen him do this a couple of times.
It was a hard round from the offset, though. They tangled with KS and lost. You don't expect that from the S&T side. In fact, I don't think they expected anybody on Novo. And they got punished for it.
So this is actually a really nice compound for TLD. Unfortunately, I don't think it's going to play with the next couple of circles. I think it's more unlikely to shift away unless there's a hard shift. And obviously, those hard shifts are technically less probable. Unfortunately, we do see them more often than not.
Probably, for sure, but we do see it happen every now and again. Meanwhile, Attest kind of out in the open here, split off from the rest of his teammates. You can see Mehmet over there. HeadHunterr just kind of going around here. It's Wacky Racers on Erangel at the moment. I'm not really sure why.
Wacky Racers.
I know, that's a throwback, right?
That is
absolutely showing my age.
I remember that.
Oh, boy.
Before it got taken off the air. But meanwhile,
They just made me sad.
Sad times indeed.
Bring it back. Let's start a petition.
Bring it back now.
Yeah, Wacky Racers again. We could use some of that. Although, you do see, as you were pointing out, a lot of people kind of scattered to the hills here. Tomb from IQM gets dropped down by Issa from Light Pirates. Actually, not a bad play from them.
Unfortunately for these guys, they kind of forgot that the hills have eyes, and they're going to get punished for it as well. So we do see a couple of knocks here. Issa actually doing a little bit better. Light Pirates still being live at this point is a bit of a surprise because they've had some terrible performances, but this next circle is probably going to cut them out. Hard shift up north, 1, 2, 3.
Oh, wow. You pushed your luck, and look what happened, Tom. But this favors TRD massively.
Look how hard chip that is. That is ridiculous. That's almost like touching the edge. But that is just ridiculous.
I think you you got a little big for your britches there on the predictions, and the RNG gods just were like, you know what, we're gonna take you down a peg here. It's okay, Tom. SWAT gets dropped down. There's still 13 teams, 42 players alive in this game, but several of them severely weakened.
You know what, TRD in the position to be able to take this third win, but Executors in the meanwhile.
Yeah, Clown manages to make it back into the house with his teammates. He was doing a bit of reconnaissance here. Kevin gets headshot by Zico from 46 loot. A little bit of revenge from last round here as these teams still fighting out for the control of the houses on Gatka.
Yeah, I think TRD need to be very careful because they're going to get crashed from multiple angles. They're the last compound, and also apart from the hill behind them, there's nowhere else for people to hide. So they're going to be facing off a lot of teams. If they don't have helmets, they're going to die pretty easily.
Yeah, you got to hope they're knowing what they're doing, but we have seen TRD hold compounds with the greatest of ease from time and time again. Issa does get taken out by HeadHunterr. That is only a down.
HeadHunterrs do lose a member.
They're still driving through here.
They're just like, we can't find anywhere.
This is terrible, man. This is like being in LA and you're trying to find a parking spot, but everything is at like $30 or there's just no parking available and you don't know how to parallel. And oh god, I'm getting flashbacks. I'm really glad I don't drive anymore. Julius, he gets dropped by Kawan from IK.
Oh,
963 man.
Grenade.
Nade's out for HeadHunterr. Doesn't find purchase though.
Well, he did get the knock. And
he does. He's got Butcher.
Yeah, it was actually really good, and they have to be careful because what I said is that they're going to get crashed by multiple teams, and this was the start. And they've played.
Is that AM out?
No, AM still have 3 members.
Yeah, but that was a good start, taking out Butcher right now. Meanwhile, HeadHunterr cut to light it up. You talked about them getting crashed, but they are trying to clean house before it happens. Butcher is eliminated, as we saw on the screen here. Meanwhile, the 963 members lit up by Demon from AXT. Quiet getting into the picture and taking out Issa and Ebo. That is the last KS member, I would think.
12th, yeah.
No. Yeah, is he? Yeah, that's out in 12th place. So unfortunately for KS, slight improvement, but you know, not a whole lot of points for that.
A little bit unfortunate, but the shot's going to be coming out. Clown takes down Abu.
Yeah, and BCL gets dropped by Demon as well, thanks to the nade. AXT are not clowning around at all right now. Very serious business in this game. Only 10 teams remaining, 29 players alive. Lawrence gets blown up by Demon. I think that might be the end of 963. We got to check in if there's any more members here. It's just about trying to move in. Quiet, getting dropped down by HeadHunterr through the house, through the scope, through the damage and everything. And it's just going to be the end of JS out in 10th place.
Really well played coming out from HeadHunterr once again. You can't really expect any different. Meanwhile, JS do get wiped as well, going out in 10th place. And then we move on to the other teams.
All right, next circle. Where are you calling it?
I'm calling it middle, just dead middle. Oh,
close. Hey, close. not the hardest. Well, it's hard, but not entirely. I don't know. TRD are going to be making tracks, so that's for sure. It looks like Koro gets dropped down. Still one more member. Light Pirates.
How has he made that? How has he made that? Cheeky. But they're going to have to do a lot of work here. So TRD are going to have to shift over. They do have, I think, the last 2 members of KA behind them. Meanwhile, HeadHunterrs.
That's going to be the BAP actually lighting up some of the members of IK here, just finding one, looking for another.
Bap. Exactly what he's doing here. He's going to knock down one, but ooh.
That's going to be Barrow from IK. The BAP is really being a pain in their side. And I don't think they know where these shots are coming from.
Yeah, I mean, unfortunately for IK, they haven't got the sort of angle on them, and they're going to soon have a couple of shots coming out from a couple of different angles. I think Executors are keeping an eye out on them, chucking some smokes up the hill towards them, trying to keep.
This is a much better Executor round. I was about to say, hope nobody gets dropped as I'm saying that. Caster Curse coming through once again, but it looks like that's not the case. Kevin, meanwhile, dropping movement down for 46 loot. They have made it into the breach right now. TRD looking for that 3rd chicken dinner. Will we see the turkey coming out? Or are they going to be gobbling all those kills?
Yeah, so he's going to be able to turn around and watch his team as they cross over. So there's actually a 2-2 split here from TRD, so they're going to be able to do very well.
That's HeadHunterrs. They're going to be out in 8th place. Now, Kevin, he does get knocked and eliminated by B52, so there's still some teeth to the AM side. Meanwhile, Zero putting B52 in the grave to turn things around.
And they go out in 8th place. Kawan, rather trying to survive here around his brother, staying right next to him. It's going to be a difficult situation for them to be able to survive here. They're on the side of the hill. Executors have got Clown, who has been downed. IK looking to try and punish them further. Yeah,
it looks like Rodel is going to be the one trying to move around the side. We still have a couple members of Loot 46. IK still fairly healthy with all 4 of their members. You can see some of the health bars starting to tick down, but don't be fooled by that. Rodel trying to crawl, snaking through, but they got sights on him. He turns it around, gets one down.
Close.
Oh, very close. Kramek actually just dropped to his knees.
Yeah, so he actually slid down the hill, and unfortunately, IK have to move. That blue is going to be ticking on them any moment.
XT still have 2 healthy. One of them is Rodel here. Let's see if we can do more. Zero looking for the breach. Dropped down by KA of all teams. Surprised to see that one. I don't think they expected so many healthy members. It's going to be down to Hackshot and HeadHunterr.
Yeah, Zero's pretty much dead on the water. He can try and cross over here, but I think the blue's going to catch him on the edge.
KA covered up right now, and there's not much they can do. HeadHunterr does get downed, though. Zero taking down Shotswar. That will be the 6th place elimination from KA.
They are going to be able to recover him, but they need to get that smoke out. Otherwise, they might just get shot by IQM. But meanwhile,
more slip and slide happening over here on this hill right now. Rodel just trying to light up the IK members. Still 3 members available. It's only Lord that's been taken out. Kramek getting dropped.
He actually got dropped because he touched the blue. And then he got finished off. So that was a kill in the bag of Executor, who have
They've had 13 kills, by the way. Executor are having a banner round this time, and we hadn't seen this team come alive for about a week or so. And apparently, all it took was 6 rounds.
They managed to get him. They've got 0.
You have got to be kidding me.
How?
TRD, we said this before. They don't leave a man behind. These guys are a band of brothers.
And definitely Zone, you know what? They could do this. This is still in their potential.
I would love to see it come down to AXT versus TRD, man. 3v3.
I just want to see a team win 3 games back-to-back. I don't care which team it is. I just want to see it happen. And this is the
the only team that's
chance.
applicable to do that right now is TRD.
Yep, I mean...
Hashtag unbiased.
Yeah.
See, IQM's still in the mix, by the way. There's definitely a little bit of chaos that can happen. Hixie does get dropped. That's a loosh from 46 loot. He might finish him off here. I don't know if there's going to be much they can do. However, he gets lit up, meanwhile trying to find the cover, and there's some quick revenge coming out. But it looks like they won't be able to finish the job. Now it is just down to Hackshot and 0. And Alush does get finished off. That's going to be out in 5th. Hackshot getting dropped down. I think that 3 chicken dinner is going to be hard. 0 is going to have to be the hero.
He hasn't got a sniper, so it's going to be interesting to see if he can pull this one off. He's quite literally playing an uphill battle. Cloud!
Speaking of uphill right now, Cloud just breaches in. He takes down Rowan. Let's see if he can take down the rest of the members here of IK. Man on a mission right now, but there's too many. IK will drop all but Borrow. And he's going to get lit up as he tries to snake his way through. Not a lot of places for him to go here. AXT have smelled the blood. Clown gets dropped down. And I think that is going to be it, though. As Rowan gets finished off by Clown, it's going to be Borrow, but I think the rest of AXT are coming to the rescue.
Borrow literally has 1 HP right now.
Nobody's watching. Hackshot, he can get his teammate up.
How have they done this again? This is insane. So they're going to have 2 members here. Hackshot's going to get picked up by 0.
Nobody's watching.
One of the members of IQM is down. This is actually potentially a...
Rodel gets finished off by Borrow as well. This is crazy. The odds have all of a sudden gotten very even.
And Barrow is able to heal up, and he's causing a distraction. He goes out in 4th place. IK performing fantastically, not only getting a fantastic position, but also causing a distraction. TRD now going to be moving up the hill.
There's still 6 players alive and only 3 teams left right now, so that means we have a 2 on 2 on 2. 0 blind fires. Doesn't find what he's looking for there, but there's the smoke with the AXT members. Rodel incredibly low. Another nade's going to be coming flying here. He gets the angle on it. Hackshot does get headshot, and boom! That was going to be a big one there, and you could see 0 and Hackshot taken down.
Insane plays coming out. Now it's going to be down to a 1 versus 2 situation. The best team versus one of the mid teams, I'd have to say.
I mean, Mustafa and IQM as a whole, they know how to survive long beyond what most people give them credit for, and it will be a 2 on 2 truly here between AXT and IQM.
What a fantastic play coming out there at the end from them, but unfortunately, TRD going to get taken down now. Mustafa going to have to do his best.
Well, let's see if Mustafa can do it. Of course, he's still got a teammate somewhere on this map. It doesn't look... Oh, he's down. Excuse me. It's going to be Purge. Excuse me. And it's really more of a 1v2 as he'll look to bleed out pretty soon. There it goes. AXT should have this round.
Yeah, I mean, you'd be very surprised if they don't, and they could actually end up, I think, maybe 16, 17 kills out of this, if I'm right in saying, which is fairly impressive.
Should tag over to them and see what we got.
We'll have to see, but meanwhile, IKM obviously getting 3 kills is fantastic, and a bit of a snake game here. He is closest to the circle, but it doesn't really matter. They should be able to pick this one up. If they don't, I would be so surprised.
Calm and cautious. Let's see if they can do it. Here we see from the above.
That's a good view. We don't quite see the other member. Oh, yeah, there we go. There we go. Right, it was actually right above there at the top of the screen. Demon is going to be going for that rotation down below, trying to get that advantage. They have to go for the split. They can't go at the same angle.
Does Mustafa see him? That's the question.
He hears him.
Has to hear him coming. Rodel crawling. Is this going to be a distraction? They're using the numbers they've got. Demon in sight. Mustafa doesn't take the shot.
Take the shot. Take the shot.
You have to. Lights him up. Doesn't get him down. He's behind the tree.
No.
Giving away his position right now. This might be it for IQM's Mustafa 99.
This is what happens when you use VSS. It's a good gun, but unfortunately it doesn't always have the damage you need.
He's got a nade. Prime it. Get it there. Rodel's coming in. Does he get
my
clear the
God.
tree? Demon's out! And he's going to try to line him up to finish the job. Demon dropped down. Mustafa has the chance. It's just down to him and Rodel. Behind the tree it goes. And he's lit. That's going to be close. Just it. Using the information advantage, AXT secure the round. The chicken dinner goes their way. AXT came to play this time.
One fantastic play coming out from them. They get a bunch of kills, and they're going to be able to walk away fairly happy with themselves, I'd have to say. Wow.
Yeah, wow indeed.
Well played to them.
3rd place finish for TRD. This is looking a lot like we saw them on the first day of the semifinals where they pick up the 2 chicken dinners and all of a sudden, boom, all right, we'll just get 3rd, get 2nd. You know, it's pretty easy. We don't have that streak broken of the max being 2 chicken dinners, but they have one more chance to make it 3 as we go on to Erangel next. Let's take a look at the highlights from this game.
Yeah, so we're going to be jumping straight into the first fight. It's going to be AM taking down LTK. And then a rather impressive showing from Mustafa, who takes down 3 members of AXT who ended up walking away with the win thanks to their recovery in this situation.
Yeah, S&T, I really liked what they were able to do here up until they ran into the AXT side, and it looked like they were kind of running and gunning, but they still turned on the heat, and great job to get that chicken dinner. We'll cover that one in a little bit, but for the time being, you saw everybody kind of coming in with the Loot 46 making plays, even LPI managing to find a great shot onto Tomb here. You don't see that every day.
No, I mean, IK played very well. A lot like Hikshi here, who does get a grenade onto Butcher. Meanwhile, Clown has to try and fend off that of Just Survive. Unfortunately, they didn't survive, and they got brutalized by that of Executor.
AXT were just monsters this round. Honestly, there's really no other way to put it, because sometimes we've seen them get kind of stuck and make a few goofy plays, and it's a little surprising. But this was on form AXT. This is why we bigged them up at the start of the semifinals, because that is the team that we expected to see.
Yeah, no, they finally showed up. And you know what? They've actually played fairly decently couple of the other games. But
consistency hasn't been their friend for some reason.
Yeah. So it's good to see them do this. And TRD downed multiple times. Zero was the one that ended up picking up Hackshot at the end, because he was down as well. It's crazy.
Yeah, I think they kind of heavily invested to try and finish off the KA members. Obviously, they would have been at their backs. And here's where kind of started to unravel a little bit. There was some chances to get teammates back up. Clown goes forward. He just mows down the IK members.
Though it was very close. I think it was, ended up in a 1v1 Demon versus this last player, Boro. Boro ended up dying.
This was a brilliant nade, actually, because he does find some damage. Unfortunately, not enough, because Demon saw it coming, moved away from it, and yeah, we know the rest.
Unfortunately, he decided to go for the VSS play instead of the DP 47, which was a big mistake. He should have been going in for the DP, but nonetheless.
This should be from last round, I think.
No. Executor.
Oh, sorry, Executor. I misread it as Real Deal. My bad. No, that is the chicken dinner. 18 kills. Man.
That's impressive.
That is impressive. Now, the Real Deal are not far behind, even though they weren't the second-place team. They still pick up 29 points from that round thanks to 10 frags. IQM, not bad on the placement, but we just don't see them coming up with the kill points.
Yeah, but you know what? IK, they got 4th place last time as well, I think, and they're going to be able to walk away with it once again.
Kurd Squad 12th place, man.
Ooh,
hate to see it.
That's so bad. They got 6 points. I think that's 6 points overall now. I think they might have got maybe 1 or 2 kills last game as well, but yeah, they got 3 points in total. So far today, they've had 9 points.
They do get to play tomorrow, so we will see that. But we'll talk about them a little bit more in detail later, because we have to take a look at who rocked the kill leaderboard. It was Demon at the top with 7-0 from TRD was in second, of course. A lot of AXT's teammates, all of them, joined in, not too far behind.
Yeah, I mean, XU's are so fantastic here. They've just come through consistency in kills and also as a team. They had to come through multiple times where 3 of their members were down, and they came through it on the other side and survived. So GG, well played to them.
Give them some serious credits here. Of course, the damage leaderboard also tells a similar story. Zero was lighting them up this time around, but also all of AXT as a team. Man, these guys were good.
There's also Barrow, good to see an IK member here, and it's actually going to be Executor versus TRD on the head-to-head, and it's going to be 2.5k damage for Executor and then 1.7 for TRD.
Not too shabby for the Israeli team, for sure. Let's take a look at Demon going up against Zero. 7 kills to 5. The damage actually very close to even. It's only 24 apart.
Yeah, it seems like Demon was a little bit more consistent in being able to get those finishes and being able to get those extra 2 kills above Zero. But fantastic play from both of these. More headshots from Zero, but nonetheless, it's going to be then Clown versus Hackshot.
Clown did really well as well. I think, we had a lot of scope coverage on him this time around. 1 headshot was all he got, but the damage dish was more than enough to compensate for all of that. Hackshot, meanwhile, a couple of kills were still respectable, all things considered. But, you can't expect somebody to just hard carry every single time. Looks like we'll get a chance to see a little bit more of that play. We just like this one so much, we're going to light it up again.
It was such a fantastic play coming out from Mustafa, though. He was able to down 3 of the members. Unfortunately, got taken out and put down, which is a bit unfortunate, because I think he kind of deserved to be able to win that, but Executor came in and said, no, we got this.
I mean, Chaos did him a bit of a favor for sure, but now we have only 1 more game to go before we will close out the night. It is 1 more Erangel. Will we see TRD coming in for the 3rd chicken dinner, or will somebody else now take the roost? We'll find out right after this as the PUBG Mobile Club Open returns. All right, let's do this one last time. Welcome back, everybody, to the PMCO 2019. This is the MEA region, and I'm Pyrotechnics. He is Tom Weef Freeman Pickering, because you got to get the Weef in there.
Got to get that Weef in there. He also missed the daddy as well at the start of that.
I'm never going to stop trying to make it a thing. It's not going to be a thing.
You said it yesterday. So either way, we're back.
In private. Anyways, we got one more wrap to go, and I cannot wait to see what comes out here because we've had a double chicken dinner from TRD. This time they got upseated off the throne. We had AXT coming in, Executor really proven true to their name and getting a massive amount of frags. IQM standing tall, IK doing well. Honestly, a lot of surprises here, but I'm looking forward to seeing what the last Erangel brings. It has been a day chock full of action.
I mean, it's been pretty crazy. We actually saw IK, obviously, like you mentioned, there perform very well, but IQM as well. Only getting, I think it was, what, 3 kills?
No, but they know how to play positional. That's what IQM do. They creep and they crawl, and they manage to make it to the very end.
Yeah, and I mean, they've needed to do that, and they've needed to get those points, and also IK as well. And
positioning is very important in this round for sure.
Yeah, and then we have a look at a team like Executors, who did take the win. But they didn't just take the win, they got 18 kills. It's massive. Yeah,
and it was spread across a lot of different players, too. I think that was the impressive thing, whereas you looked at the last round prior with TRD's Hixie kind of coming up and becoming the hero in playing what is probably the best PUBG Mobile round that I think I've ever seen. Yeah. I'm not even going to shy away from that. I'm fairly new to the game, obviously, but still, that was an incredible performance.
Yeah.
And this kind of goes to show that TRD don't just have team and tactics, they have clutch players. Hixie has firmly cemented himself among the elite in the ME region.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see what other people can actually learn from him and how he actually fares eventually if he gets through to the MEA slot, the one golden ticket.
That's the thing we do have to talk about, right? Because the regional finals are, of course, going to be after our final semi-final performance. The 24 teams moved down to 16, but only one of those teams, one of the top 16, managed to get a spot at the global finals. And it almost feels criminal because there've been so many good plays, but there can be only one. You know, it's like Highlander, but with PUBG Mobile.
Yeah, I mean, if they do get through to the final spot and we're still casting it, I'm gonna Photoshop his head onto Charlie as he's running down the street saying, "I've got a golden ticket." Because
he punched his own if that's the case, if it happens, man. But let's take a look. We are onto Erangel for the final time tonight. We will be seeing the plane path go almost due north up from Novo, all the way over through Yasnaya, and a couple teams already dropped out here. Looks like AXT going to tangle with IK over at Military Island.
Yeah, you called out this kind of plane path earlier that you haven't really seen many of these before, and that is exactly what's going to happen. I think it was actually yesterday. Meanwhile, we're going to be seeing TRD still in the plane, heading over towards Saverny, which I hope they do stick to. Meanwhile, IK might be challenging into Military, which is a bad idea. That's where Executors are. That's their domain. And I think they might just get punished. And you know what? Good. I hope they land there, and I hope they get punished, because this is the kind of dominance we need to see from teams like Executor, showing that this is our land. Go find your own, and go rotate off. And that's what IK should have done, is that they should have realized that this is Executor's land. Meanwhile, LTK going to be able to land up north into Yasnaya. TRD not going to Saverny. Good choice by chance as they land over towards the Povka. Circle comes in.
Another western circle.
Yeah, and the center of that is right next to Ruins, which is quite an interesting situation.
There's already a fight happening. JS lose a test immediately to Damu because, well, everybody's getting involved in it. Meanwhile, though, it is Clown that gets down by Kramik from IK.
This is unfortunate. This is, you know what? Okay, maybe it's actually IK that's going to dominate Executor here, or at least in the first part, and that's going to be a double-barrel shotgun, almost taking the head of Mehmet there.
Yeah, that's from Soul Leader on Rush to Crush, who we haven't really seen a whole lot of. He does sub in every now and again, but Rush to Crush kind of going back to their tried and true, want to kind of shock and awe their opposition, and JS, one of those teams that they really can bully into submission.
Yeah, hopefully they do actually manage to make it through this, because if they do go down early and they're seeming to have a bit of trouble here on the stairs, but they need to be able to try and provide like a better score so they can try and secure a solid finish on this.
Ah, that's the down. They just try to go in breaching, firing through, but it's shotgun for shotgun at this point. Rush to Crush got crushed themselves, and that was SWAT taking them down.
That is an interesting play, because he was looking down through a second window that isn't usually there. As far as I'm concerned, that's an interesting situation.
We've done a little bit of renovation, Tom.
Renovation, open up, let the light in.
All right, IK here. Looks like, I don't think they took anybody down. They did actually get Clown eliminated. They finished him off, and what a nade from Kramik right on top of Demon's head.
Yeah, and it's all about holding it for the right amount of time.
See, they're opening fire here. Meanwhile, that JS and Rush to Crush fight still continues, but I feel like it's going to be a bit of a mop-up at this point. Demon does get taken out by Rawan. And who'd have thunk it? The winners of last round are down to 2.
This is not good. But you know what? I'm impressed. IK actually bringing it in. We called them out for not really having the kind of aim, but they've actually proven back-to-back, game-to-game, that they've actually got some aim.
And this is the thing. We talk about, as we see Golden Boy kind of lighting up a kill feed there, all these different Iraqi teams kind of trying to dominate, trying to be the best that their country can offer. And IK, we hadn't seen them as much prior, but they're kind of making a claim to that one right now. Kurd Squad trying to prove that they can step up and clutch it where it counts.
Yeah, and I mean, it's really, really important to be able to do this, not only for sort of pride, but also so that you can get the max amount of points going forward. Meanwhile, we're going to be seeing JS look to take on that of Rush to Crush. Let's
2 kills, 2 down, and Soul Eater opens up, but gets sprayed down in return. It's going to be down onto Nasser. He will be able to get his teammate up, but not a lot of time here. He's going to have to watch his angles as the breach will come in very quickly. Turns around the side, sprays Nasser. He gets 1.
Is he going to be able to get the second one here? Rip is going to be backing away from this fight as he crawls away. Still alive, but going to get finished off. And that is going to be Rush to Crush, trying to dominate.
Well, they do manage to, looks like, get just about everything. Nasser finally is the last man standing, and it really is the truth there. First team eliminated will be Just Survive out in 16th, but they gave it a valiant effort, and they reduced Rush to Crush down to a single player.
Was it worth it, though?
I'm going to say no, but Rush to Crush do one thing, and that is attack.
Yeah, this is very much like the old school version of Rush to Crush.
We did see them change last round, just to clarify. I'm not saying that's all they do. But this is old school Rush to Crush. You're absolutely right.
Yeah, no, you know what? It's fine. To be honest, they've had a very consistent sort of play style before this. Meanwhile, we're going to be over towards the school apartments, and it's going to be the players of KS versus IQM, if I want to say that correctly.
Looks like you're right. Yeah, Purge is taken very low in this one, but KS, I think they feel fairly confident they can take the fight by school.
Yeah, so you know what? They have got an opportunity to wrap around here, but they do have to be careful. Ari is very low on HP right now. And IQM are split up across a couple of buildings, but they have got low armor.
Yeah, not a lot to work with here. Tomb,
low protection.
Staying under cover. Low protection indeed.
Got to get that protection if you want to be taking these fights. Otherwise, you might end up with a situation you weren't really prepared for, and it might just change the rest of the course of the game. So we'll see how they do going forward, and they might just be able to land the shots here. I mean, both of these teams have sort of about equal, I think, killing potential. Maybe Kurd Squad a little bit better.
Yeah, glad you had that one covered for sure, Tom. Now Purge will be moving in from the backside. See what they're able to do.
I mean, that's definitely one of the solutions. But so we'll see what they do. Purge.
I mean, he's out a little deeper at the moment, let's be honest.
Oh, definitely. And you have to be careful how deep you go, because you never know what kind of reaction you might get. You might have to run away screaming. But Ari, in the meantime, still on ground floor at the moment, I think, if that's right and sane, might just be able to peek around the corner. But
Kurd Squad are grouping up.
Has got it covered. Yeah.
I like this from them. They know kind of how to collapse back in together, and they do just have so many intervals, so many angles they can take, unfortunately. That also means that, bullets can fly in both directions here. He's actually dropping down, and he just starts to spray, but he gets taken down as well. Golden Boy, it looks like, almost got eliminated. He just gets knocked, and that's actually not a great trade if you're IQM. I didn't expect him to Leroy Jenkins in there. I'm going to be honest right now.
But you know what? Fantastic shots. He was using bursts on the M16, which is hard to control.
The best part was the way it visually looked. Like it looked like he was just shooting up into the air, but he was actually just kind of like spraying as he goes down. I'll give it to him. That takes a lot of rocks.
Yeah, and I mean, it wasn't worth it. No. I said earlier,
it was really fun to watch, but not worth it. Golden Boy's back on his feet.
Yeah, I mean, this is pretty much resetting them back to where they were. Golden Boy was going to be slightly damaged, but they've got a little bit of extra loot. And now they've just got to finish off the rest of IQM. But Kurd Squad, they can't afford to lose any players right now, so they have to be careful. They need to be able to go into the rest of the game with everyone alive.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Kurd Squad have had 3 atrocious rounds. Some of them just completely on bad choices in the early game. Some of them just off the back that they chose to tail a team that ended up blowing their car up. I mean, you could call it a little bit of bad luck, but it's also down to the decision-making at the end of the day. So Kurd Squad absolutely need to have a stellar round to salvage today.
Yeah, I mean, this is actually very much a mirror of what happened in the last game, but instead of being in Novo, where they have backed away from, they recognize that S&T land there, and even though they won that fight, they wasted so much time, and they just decided to switch it up, and they came over here, and now they're fighting.
I think they're more worried about AXT, actually.
Yeah, that's true.
He did drop there once again, but all the same, very valid points, Tom, and this is a nice setup for them, but we haven't seen where everybody else has dropped. I'd like to tap back to the min-map for just a little bit and see where the rest of the teams have posted up. AXT are actually making tracks, because remember, they did drop the island, and they are going to have to get out of there, but they have a little bit of time to kill.
Yeah, so they're just going to be going for a cruise.
Yeah, I mean, two of them did get taken out early, too. It's worth noting. Yeah. So, one car is actually all right for the situation. We're back at school, but you know, I don't hear no bell ringing, so I'm not rushing to class.
No, Purge is definitely trying to back away from here, try to get a different position. So you can carry on looting, because this is part and parcel of the course. If you're going to be engaging this early, you're going to be stuck for loot. And unfortunately for them, they're quite close to the center, so they're going to get crashed in the end. And if they're not ready for that crash, they're going to suffer from it.
So Purge is driven away right now, and I guess Kurd Squad will carry this area for the time being. Let's see what they're able to make of it.
Yeah, I mean, there's still 2 members of IQM still standing inside one of these buildings, which is a little bit worrisome.
So what does it tell you when one team just sends one player off into the distance and the other 2 hold it?
I'd probably say we're watching IQM because they like to split very much.
A little more specific, but okay, fair enough. Here's where the next circle will be going. It is very similar to last time, over covering Gatka. Pachinki's also in the mix as well. We will keep our eyes here on HeadHunterr and KA. I believe this is over at North George.
Yeah, North George is a bit of a dangerous area. They are going to have to rotate away from it. And it's actually going to be TRD versus Rush to Crush. He got the drop.
He's the last one left, and yeah, I don't know if you want to go straight in there. He just, oh man, Johnny YOLO's his way through, and unfortunately he's taken out. That's a 15th place finish for Rush to Crush.
He just ran in there and was like, hey up, boys. What are you doing?
Pip, pip, cheerio.
And that's actually going to be KS taking down one of the members of IQM with the Scorpion. So that's going to be the first kill I think we see with the new gun. There you go, boys. Make sure to use it. But
it's got a big old magazine on it. So KS get 2 knocks, but they don't lose anybody. That's critical right now. Yeah. And it looks like Purge is going to be the last man standing on that school setup, which means KS should be in a very good position here. They can finish off Wolf with ease. Yeah. And they do, in style.
He's actually just using it full on like that front. Because obviously, guys, the Scorpion is in between a pistol and a submachine gun. It takes up that slot. And pretty easy to use. But nonetheless, let's move onwards here. So we obviously have Kurd Squad, but I want to go see what TRD are up to. Obviously, they're still looting up over in towards that sort of area. We have Headhunters again in North George. But they are going to have to rotate away. They can't just stick in this area. They have to get inside the circle. And unfortunately, Julius is AFK. So we're watching an AFK player right now.
That feels bad, man.
Ooh, there you go.
Haven't seen that for a while.
46 loot. We do actually see them. Where are they? They're actually in South George right now. So they're going to have to shift away from this position as well. The blue is on its way. And they're doing the cardinal sin. They're rotating 1 vehicle.
Yeah, it's a little bit rough. I kind of feel like they're not as worried since it's a big open area, but all it takes is one person firing aim true into that spot. And we will check in on a couple of our other contenders here. It will be Light Pirates over at Hospital. I want to see some dancing, man. I want to see what kind of moves you got. Come on, guys. Just don't just punch the air. These guys, I mean, if you're tuning in for the first time, Light Pirates, we used to call them the dancing pirates because what they would do is they'd find a place to hold up in, like Hospital, nice and easy, nice and spacious, a lot of good loot spots, and they would just get up in a room, check out the disco ball, have a little dance party for a few minutes. Love to see it.
Yeah, and they definitely are sort of the dancers of the crew, but they kind of lost that towards the...
Yeah, the groove has been thrown off for sure.
Yeah. So they have got a vehicle. They're going to be able to rotate. I thought they were going to be able to be the ones that could shoot at 4-6 loot, but they actually lost that opportunity. So they're just going to have to jump in this 1 vehicle and then go from there. Unfortunately, oh, you can actually put your hands in those spikes and jump over.
Looks painful, surprisingly effective. TRD are going to be taking 2 vehicles back over into the circle as well. 3, excuse me, Kevin bringing up the rear in that one. So this is the strategy you like to see, Tom. Everybody's splitting off.
Yeah, I mean, they are the team that has looked for the most feedback in the past. I'm not surprised that they are looking to try and adopt the sort of proper metas here, which is good to see. Meanwhile, there is going to be a care package dropping right next to Gatka, I think. Yeah, it is. Near the coast with the M249. Probably one of the best guns for PUBG Mobile, I'd have to say, alongside the AWM. I would actually place it above it, just due to the way the game works and people actually play this game at the moment. I'd say, due to the meta, that gun has a better placement. Meanwhile, SNT. So we do see them alive. They probably, I think they did land over towards Novo.
Yeah, they went quite a distance, it would appear, after all the matter is done. But they've been trying to avoid the action because those early plays have really been kind of killing some of the edge that they'd had from earlier rounds in today.
Ooh.
And we will see where the circle shrinks down. It's
Similar
right
circle before.
into the middle. Yeah, Gakka's still in the picture. You see IQM's last member, Purge, is actually feeling pretty happy because he's right in the center of it. S&T should be running for that one for sure.
What if we get exactly the same circle?
What are the odds? A lot?
Very, very small.
Mm.
So, I mean, with every kind of shift, that's a different RNG, so it's crazy to think.
Back to Pachinki, AM. This time they had a pretty quiet start to the game. And I think this is teams realizing, you know what? AM are always going to drop Pachinki. We probably can't contest them, and even if we do, we're going to be in trouble. One of the team that learned that to their detriment last time, 9-6-3, they're over by Gatka. Good position for them.
Yeah, and this is more of what I want to see. I want to see teams dominate in certain areas and stopping others from being able to land near them. and really just dominate. Oh, wait, what? HMO just got taken down by his teammate with the Molotov. Because team damage is off, apart from on grenades, from like Molotovs and grenades on that front. So you have to be careful.
Hate to see it.
Have to be careful on that front. But like I was saying,
don't play with live grenades. Good advice in general.
Yeah, I mean, like I was saying, I really want to see these teams dominate certain towns and really put their stamp on it, because that really pushes in a really healthy meta in regards to these teams being able to survive for a bit longer and actually being able to loot up before having to engage, which actually makes the engagements a lot more interesting, a lot more fun, rather than having to see people with no armor or very little armor fight others who have very little armor. It makes it a little bit odd to be able to watch, and it's not a healthiest of combats.
Yeah, well, we will see quite a lot of healthy combat coming through pretty soon right now. Everybody's picking up, packing up, going home. Little house on the prairie getting evacuated here as SNT will start to split off and away, as the rest of the teams will start to move into the circle.
Yeah, so they moved away from Cubed, which was on the northern side of the island, just across the bridge, which was pretty decent for them. And we'll see where they do go. Little house on the prairie may well be their resting place if they're not so careful. HeadHunterrs in the distance. They're still in the circle, I think, on the very fringe of it.
I want to see HeadHunterr really step it up. That last round was very good for them, actually.
Yeah.
As Purge sits right in the middle of the brush. See, this is how you do it. You don't let your legs stick out. You just crouch it. That's the way to do it. Ooh, KS's Ahmed actually gets down by Mojrim from LTK. That is not great for the Kurd Squad. We'll have to see as we check back in with that one. But yes, S&T moving off into the distance. We saw him there. We'll see where this next set of teams really rotates into the circle, and that's when we will see quite a lot of action coming through. Ari taking a run here, as is Golden Boy. This was a slow rotation from Kurd Squad.
Yeah, and unfortunately, this is one of the worst vehicles to have two people in, because you stick so far out.
Yeah, you're a big fat target right now, and you can see that they're trying to move away from LTK, and they're bleeding very heavily as they rotate back to pick up Ebo. They definitely need their ace player. Kurd Squad down to 3, of course. Definitely not going to feel pretty good for them right now. Red Bull from LTK gets dropped by Aras, so Light Pirates actually helping out. Yeah,
I mean, Light Pirates actually really need to win this game to put them back on track. They're going to be playing against tomorrow, but they really need to be able to get in the practice.
That's taken out. Yep, you can see Issa drop down as well. So maybe this is LTK kind of coming back into the picture here. Hama bails out of this house, and he's trying to wrap around the side. Looks like he has a teammate crawling around. Should get that res up.
They're outgunned, outpositioned, and outplayed right now. He might just be a little bit too much out of his depth, as LTK have been a decent team. The grenade goes out.
And it's going to be the knock, the elimination. 13th place finish there for Light Pirates. And there will be no dancing except that which Slom will do on their graves.
This could actually be the very end of them, and that circle is going to be spelling the end for a couple of these teams here.
Holy moly, yeah, that's a hard shift. Gatka's still in play.
This is very much a similar circle to before, slightly further north, but still, this could still land on that hill.
Look at the team still in play just on the outside, though. We saw IK to the south. We saw TRD to the southeast.
Ooh.
Ebo getting taken out by the play zone, which means he was just crawling around. We still have 12 teams up, which means Kurd Squad are still alive here, but definitely want to check in with this upcoming fight between AM and RBK. RBK have only 3 members in sight. Not sure if they have one down.
Here's TRD.
It's not the sight you want to see. Molotovs coming through. H-Mode has actually been eliminated, so RBK do have only 3 players remaining here. This is trouble.
Yeah, and I mean, TRD going to be joining for Frey, but they have to be so
Butcher,
careful.
He just lights up onto the TRD side, and this is going to be an interesting one. If third parties start getting in the mix, these are 3 very tough teams.
This is kind of firefighting situation we've not seen too often between all these compounds. This is something that usually happens here, and the grenade goes through the window.
Wait for the timing. They try to scatter. Looks like they do manage to do it successfully. RBK, they might have to realize that they cannot hold this compound with 3 players.
Yeah, they have actually backed out of that one building, which was 1 floor, so now they're going to be looking to peek in through the windows. And that was a terrible grenade coming in from RBK. If the positioner was great, but the timing was wrong. If they'd held it for 2 or 3 seconds, chucked it in, boom, maybe we'll get 1 or 2 down.
Ooh, that one went right by his head there. RBK still just trying to hang in at the moment. Going to be very tough. Going to be very difficult to stay alive throughout some of these really tough matchups. They lose one. Butcher on the top side putting a bandage back on. Going to be going for another here as LTK actually still back in this fight with KS on the opposite side, but TRD in a great position to try and watch the action unfold here. Butcher crawling. Should be able to get res, no problem.
Yeah, he's going to be able to pick him up. Unfortunately, B52 has left himself slightly exposed to that window, but that grenade is so close.
Very close right now. RBK looking to take back what's theirs. TRD watches on. He might as well pop some corn at this point.
Yeah, RBK going to be able to pick up 1 let down players here. And obviously, they lost H-Mode thanks to themselves burning him alive, which was a massive mistake. TRD sitting in the background, not playing too aggressive. There's still 12 teams. This is a smart play by them. They don't need to play aggressive.
Just take the pot shots from the distance. That's all you need to do. You can watch it. Get yourself the binoculars going through on the opposite side. We saw IK actually driving through, but it looks like they decided they didn't want any piece of that action. And to be honest, IK, they're a team that definitely knows to avoid third-party fights.
Yeah. what TRD are doing are pretty much walking up to someone, they go and poke, just like poking them in the side continually. That's all they need to do. They just need to take pot shots and really wear these guys down.
S&T are close, too. This is going to be interesting.
Yeah, S&T have to be careful, though, because they have proven quite decent at these sort of distant plays, but if they're not careful, they will get pushed by a couple of others. Okay, I would be interested to see where they are.
B52 opens fire. Looks like it doesn't find quite enough damage, but still going to be okay. Honestly, I think in these situations, you do want to favor Arab Madness just because they're the players that we see those flashy plays that survive well when they're on offense or defense. Meanwhile, it looks like Golden Boy still continuing to be a hero for Kurd Squad. I'm not sure if he's the only member remaining or not. And he does get dropped down, but they don't get eliminated, which means he can't be.
Yeah, they have to be very careful in that situation. If you go out this early, you're going to be losing a massive advantage.
KS need a huge round for sure.
This circle is identical.
Within a pixel. Oh, Golden Boy. Hold on a second. He's going to give some information. There should be the finisher there. Yeah, they're just having a little fun. Just punch him to death.
Yeah.
That's great. But they're not out yet. I want to see where the remaining KS members are.
I'm sorry, I'm still lost.
It's Ari. It's just Ari.
I'm still so surprised the fact that we've still got the same circle.
That's actually pretty nuts, man. We've had some really weird RNG for sure.
I've never seen back-to-back same circles in my lifetime of PUBG over the past almost 3 years of this. This is just nuts. But either way, Purge is going to be trying to crawl along here. He's going to die to the blue.
It's the last IQM member. There's really not much he can do at this point, so he just might as well start going for it. Blaze of Glory. First aid kit popped. I don't know if he's going to have a whole lot of time to use that one.
Dead.
3, 2, 1. First aid kit is up.
It doesn't matter. He's going to get chunked. It doesn't matter.
By the way, while we were talking about the circle, Hackshot did get dropped down, but Hixie does manage to get him back up. Meanwhile, the Bat's going to be dropped by Kawan off to the side. Ari under heavy fire from Hixie. The hits keep on coming, and this is going to be a rough end of the round for Kurd Squad. Purge finally dies. That is on 12th place finish there for them.
0 kills as well. A little bit unfortunate for them. But he...
Ooh. Dr. Savage. I think that might have been the last HeadHunterr's member there.
It was. They go out, and he was run over. No, HeadHunter's still alive.
No, they're still in the good. Oh, it's
Someone
Ari that gets taken out, which... you hate to see it. That's a 10th place finish there for Kurd Squad. They got a few more kills this time around, but they're not stacking up nearly enough kills to make a big difference. Dr. Savage gets dropped by a boot from 963.
Oh, hello.
I just had a bit of a tactical delay for a sec there. Oh, boom. KA just getting lit right now. Hazim and 46 Loot really showing why they are a powerhouse team to contend with. TRD back into the mix, back in this house. So RBK and AM getting third-partied. Kevin running forward here. I wonder if his plan is actually to just get that positional information because he trusts that his team can get him back up.
Yeah, I mean, it's really important for him to be able to get the information. Meanwhile, on the hill...
KA completely eliminated out in 9th place, and Zico and the rest of 46 Loot. How about that? They're padding those kill stats.
Cowabunga for those guys, as they're going to be able to get kill after kill on those guys. Meanwhile, TLD, they've only got 2 kills so far. And IK actually going to be chiming in with the knock on to 963 there in the distance.
Yeah, definitely superior firefight coming out for them in that situation. RBK still not done with this one as they're looking to prime a couple of nades. The circle will shrink again. Where are we going to see it? It's going to be going to the south. This favors 963, IK, and the last couple members of HeadHunterr, actually. So this house fight is going to be moot pretty soon.
Yeah, and if TRD are clever, they're going to abandon this and jump out the back and try to get across the road.
Looks like that's what they'll do here. Kevin's still kind of holding down the fort on the front to make sure they don't see anything. He finally moves back out. Tactical retreat coming in for TRD as they'll try to wrap around the side.
They don't need to do anything here. All they have to focus on is actually getting a smoke up into this balcony would solve everything for them. 0 running across.
Nah, Butcher staying now on his belly. That means that he's not going to see them as easily. Third party perspective still good there, but there is a vehicle coming in. Hixie going to keep it going as S&T try to run through the smokes. He's just waiting to line him up.
This is a really smart play from him. He's going to see them. No, he backs away. Okay, they've decided, you know what? Right.
They've got 3 vehicles. 4 vehicles. It's
they've got 5.
Yeah, they've got as many as they possibly could want and then some right now. So this should be perfectly fine for TRD to rotate. And, you know, AM, congratulations. You defended your castle, but I don't really know if that's going to do much good once you find yourself in the blue. RBK starting to run forward as well, out in the open. They've stayed here long enough. Mustafa from S&T getting dropped by B52 as the S&T fight starts to heat up here. Hackshot, he's just trying to drive away too fast, too furious here. Narcos dropped down as well by B52, and the chaos has begun, Tom.
TRD going to be able to get down on the RBK members, and we're going to be seeing a kill after kill right now. The grenades, the smokes, they're all going to be coming in. Kevin!
You just see so many health bars starting to drop pretty quickly there as Kevin, yes, indeed, there was some pretty big plays. Hixie's lighting up Lawrence from 963. Hixie getting dropped down as well. It's just absolute madness at the moment as TRD try to coalesce. RBK kind of waiting up in the hills. At this point, we're down to 7 teams, 23 players as Zero gets taken out. TRD could be out in this one. B52 takes out one of the RBK members, as it looks like we have at least one more left. Hoger dropped by Zico from 46 loot. Still 7 teams remaining. TRD still have 3 members, relatively healthy. Hixie's low, but they definitely have some bandages to work with. And AM lose 2.
Yeah, unfortunately, they decided to rotate far too late, and it really punished them. So we're going to have to see them recover from this position and also stop RBK, RBK from above, and then AM from below, and then SNT out in the field from being able to take them out.
Everybody moved away from the house, and the fight just moves on to a different front here. Butcher's knocked by Narcos.
Look at that grenade. That could be the
very
end.
far. Looking for even more here, all in the chaos. I don't know if AM see that one coming for the time being. It does blow Molotov. Hackshot managing to get the credit for that one. Quiet will be able to res him up, and there's just smoke so thick you can cut it with a knife. Alush getting dropped down by Julius, and Headhunters still showing their last member is a force to be reckoned with. RBK down to 2. Crawling from the top of this hill. They've got a great vantage point, but do they have the shots?
I don't think so. You can see there's back-to-back 46 loot and Karwan from IK.
This is getting a bit crowded here. Hixie gets dropped down by Lashin. Should get finished off by RBK. Kills and steals happening left and right in the blue. RBK, another knockdown, another elimination soon to follow. Hackshot lighting up the AM members. He finds Butcher and B52. What a play!
And Quiet is going to get silenced in a moment if he's not careful. If he pokes up his head, Hackshot should be able to take him out, and they would go out in 7th place. Hackshot has got his teammate right next to him. They're currently staking in amongst the smoke.
Yeah, and the fire as well. This one is full of it. Quiet, the last member remaining of AM.
He should just med right now. Just YOLO it. Just get that med up here. Karan is actually stuck in that room. He can jump out that window, I think, but still.
Yeah, Moomin has the opportunity to move a little bit faster than him. Looks like Mr. Relax from HeadHunterr is going to get taken out, and that should be the last of HeadHunterr. So now we see them going out in 7th place, but the fight is still on here as Hackshot looking to move forward, trying to get his teammate back up. The smoke is thick, but is it thick enough?
No, and Quiet's going to have a massive opportunity here to finish them off.
Kevin's taken out of this one. Mustafa grabs Hackshot, and that means TRD are out in 6th. That is the worst performance we've seen from them today, but still, they're going to pick up a heck of a lot of points.
And you know what? Quiet's name is very applicable in this situation.
Oh, maybe too quiet. He just dies.
He goes AFK.
Play zone.
Gets the 5th place. So we're down to the last 4 members.
He waited for TRD to die. He's like, okay, I can pass into the ether now. RBK take out Zico from 46 loot. We are down to 9 players across 4 teams. It has been hectic. S&T, they managed to get behind the cover of the loot crate, and this is going to suit them well in one of these final fights here. Coming up as Mustafa drops down Hazim. Who is going to win this one? It seems like it's all Chaos Moomin, crouched but in the sights of RBK.
And RBK are going to be able to get the shots off, but it's going to be SNT getting the final kill.
46 loot taken out in 4th place, it looks like. So, IK's Kawan still in this. All 4 members of SNT, but only 2 members of RBK. This should be the win for SNT's side, unless they get completely turned on.
Oh, fantastic play coming out. SNT should be able to have this one in the bag. They've got 4 members left alive. There's only 2 of RBK. Sorry, 1 of RBK. And
one just
of
bled
IK.
out at the end. Oh, man, this is intense right now. But S&T, they've been in this position before. We know what to expect from this team when they are healthy. Kawan, not a lot of places for him to go. He's backed into the corner, but IK can be pretty happy with the positional play. They've secured this game as well as the performance they've had over the course of today.
IK could just peek out the window and drop down 2 of the members there. But we'll see.
Narcos, covered by Captain. Taking it nice and slow, nice and tactical. We do know that this team definitely doesn't go in guns a-blazing. RBK getting lit up. So close, but he doesn't move. And they just keep spraying.
Trying to think of the song there, but nonetheless, like, they should actually just be able to knock him down. It should be fairly easy. Molotov's going out. SNT just using everything of these guys.
Why not? You can't take it with you after the end of the round.
And I mean, as far as they're concerned, they probably just think, oh, okay, there's no one behind us. So if we take out this guy, well, they actually probably think there's multiple members, but there's actually just 1 member for RBK. Karan is just sitting there in the back, waiting for the circle to eat him alive in 7 seconds.
S&T should be their round to lose for sure. First aid going to be used by the last remaining RBK member. Tense moment, though, because there's still a potential to turn it around, to clutch it up. If S&T get caught snoozing, it shouldn't happen, but we have seen stranger things.
Yeah, Stranger Things was a fantastic series. And
Did you like season 2?
Fantastic. Didn't actually watch it.
Get back to the game.
SNT, though, they're in such a fantastic position here. They stayed alive for so many people. Not full of kills, but definitely an opportunity.
Oh, Lashin, Mustafa turning around. The information's there immediately. The communication coming through, but they can't quite find the finishing blow. Looking for that snake in the grass. They find him, and it's down to IK's last remaining member. I think he's just going to let it fade out. Let it be, if it will.
The confusion now sets in. They're like, hang on a minute. Okay, where's the last player? So now they're going to turn their attentions back to this building, and they're going to be looking for him. They know he has to be there.
He could drop down, but he's not moving. Oh, now he's got to go. Blue's coming in.
I think he's just going to let himself die to the blue.
Yeah, don't give him an extra point.
Yeah, I mean, it's a little bit of an anti-climax.
Do they go? Do they go in? Do they actually just try to siege him down?
They went and looted up instead, but then
actually still not in the blue. This is nuts, man.
How is he not in the blue? This is just crazy. They must know where he is. I want to see a fantastic grenade. They're actually just going to YOLO it.
They're going to have to run it through him.
He could actually down a couple of players here.
He does. That's one. Mustafa. He actually finds Lashin as well.
3 are down. It's a 1v1.
You've got to be kidding me.
Oh no, the blue is now coming.
Ah, he's going to get taken out. That was really sick, though, at the end of the day. IK, Blaze of Glory, he manages to get a couple of kills to pad a couple of those stats at the end. But it is S&T that are victorious.
Oh my god, that is so brilliant. So he managed to pick up 2 extra kills there at the end for his team.
What a day, man.
I think that's probably one of the highest kills that they've managed to get on IK. They pick up 6 kills in total.
Yeah, not since they mowed down the TRD members in that crazy fight, man. What a day of games we've had.
Oh my god, that was so crazy, right? Like, back-to-back, same circles, or very similar circles, almost exactly the same, like, good enough for me, and just a really good performance, and also surprise performers as well. IK coming out into 2nd, and also 2 4th positions today, and a bunch of kills. Let's have a look at the highlights. There's definitely been some today.
Rush to Crush started things off here by mowing down JS, but it was a turnaround on all fronts, and they were left with 1 member standing. KS, it was a good start. They actually managed to get the jump onto IQM. Unfortunately, it seemed like they waited a little too long there when they finally did move out. Yep, and that was a great all nade there, just chucking him out on the left hand. I can't believe it, man. And then Butcher, of course, didn't see this retreat, but he did see the nade coming in onto the RBK members, and all these teams ended up shifting their fight. Hazim opening up heavy fire here onto the HeadHunterrs and KA sides. 46 loot looked like they could be running it up until this point.
Yeah, it was actually a really good play from them. They tried backing away, but unfortunately it was into that clutch of, I think it was IK and also SNT at the same time, so it's a bit unfortunate. TRD,
they took a drive, man.
Yeah, they went for this rotation, but in honesty, it was a little bit too late. They needed to do it maybe 10, 15 seconds early, but they got distracted.
Great scope up by RBK, though, and I don't think AM really expected to be hit like that. Of course, you saw right in the middle, it was all of TRD. They started getting scattered to the winds. They definitely had a more favorable position earlier on, and the rotation, as you mentioned, just wasn't quite as good, but that's when we saw it start to clear. The IK members, SNT, RBK. SNT, of course, had this. I mean, there was no way they were losing it outside of just something massive happening, and it almost did here as Kawan just opens up fire, sprays into the blue, says, that's okay, I can drop down. He almost actually managed it.
Yeah, and he does get a couple of kills there. GG, well played to them, and they're going to do fantastic today. And actually, we see 963 up in 10th place. Team Rush to Crash do drop down to 12th, though, I think, at that point so far today. And we're going to be seeing Light Pirates down where they belong, unfortunately, in 14th place. Just Survive 15th, Executor 16th, which is a bit different.
Where were Kurd Squad? They must have placed a little bit higher up. So we take a look. They actually ended up in 8th place. So they had 6 placement points from that round, 5 kill points. So that is their best round today, but it is just a far cry from what they need being a bubble team. But look at the top, man. S&T can't beat that. That's definitely solid.
No, yeah, and I just want to mention Kurd Squad. They had 9 other points apart from this game. So they just managed to reach 20 points. That is bad.
It's dismal given the fact that they were sitting in 14th place to start of the day. They will have another chance to play tomorrow on the last day of semifinals, but we need to see a monster performance for the crowd favorites to move on into the regional finals. But for the teams at the top, not too worried about it. I love what IK did this round. Playing great. Here, we'll take a look at them in the head-to-head with SNT.
And it's actually not too much of a surprising difference. Kills are only 2 difference, and also the damage is only about 200, 300 damage difference as well. Points is only 10, and that's thanks to the fact that they had sort of 1st and 2nd place difference plus the 2 extra kills. So I've got to give them that praise. And obviously coming in 2nd is actually a first for IK, I think. Mustafa versus Kramek.
Kramek got a couple of those kills, solid damage performance on him. He wasn't the last man standing, but he definitely still delivered for his team. Mustafa, obviously, we've talked at length about how S&T have heaps of great players. Lashin is another one, used to be the main ace for the team, but it seems like everybody else has been stepping up. That's Rawan he's faced off against, who had the headshot, 2 kills to boot.
Yeah, and it was actually a really good performance and sort of quite equal sort of distance sort of travelled here for these guys as well. Got to give them praise where it's...
Barrow, did he not load in? He must have.
No, so maybe IK were actually just playing with a man down as well.
And we didn't get to see Colin, which I'm a little annoyed about, but we might get to see him again if we get another extra highlight at the end, because he was that last man standing that had the crazy 2-spray.
Yeah, and obviously that was back on Vikendi.
Thank you, production. It is up against Mustafa. We will compare him. And those were his only 2 kills, actually.
Yeah.
And he did basically 9 damage apart from that.
Yeah, I mean, it's a little bit unfortunate the fact that he didn't get more kills. He could have ran around the corner and tried to finish off that last person, but probably would have died to the blue. Tried jumping out the window, got taken care of by the last remaining S&T player. That was the best choice they did, is not run in with all their members.
Unknown. Who is he?
One of the S&T players.
Has to be, yeah. Yeah, sometimes things get a little haywire, but all the same, we had a lot of great damage numbers being put up at the top of that one. And, yeah.
Let's try that again.
That's an F5. Oh, one more time.
Hey,
it's the kill leaderboard this time. We got Zico from 46 Loot showing up.
Hey,
and how about Mojram and LTK?
Yeah, I mean, it's actually a couple of players that didn't actually end up at the end in the last sort of 4. We actually see a couple of players survive through and actually get decent scoreline. So, you know what? I've got to give them praise. And also, Ibo here.
Give them fire.
Yeah, this was TRD's fantastic push and actually just execution.
This was on Vikendi.
Yeah, that was a really well played.
That is a good play for sure.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't the Sanhok play that I would have wanted to see, but nonetheless, it was actually still a really good example of how well they played. And I just want to mention, guys, make sure to go follow Mr. Devon here.
But also follow Mr. Tom, Mr. Wee Freeman YT, of course, over on Twitter for all. Honestly, he's like a grade A memer, so if you like that kind of content, you'll get a lot of good stuff out of him.
Yeah, if you want to find me, you can go search on Twitter, and you can just search Daddy Weef. And
please don't. Let's not make that trend.
Hashtag Daddy Weef.
You are shameless. You are shameless, man.
I have no shame. Either way, guys, if you have missed anything, there's a great place, a fantastic website. It's improved massively over the couple of weeks.
It's definitely not his Twitter tag. It is, of course, down to the bottom. It is clubopen.pubgmobile.com for all the standings, stats, and info on all of our players, as well as news. You can see how they got there and more. And, of course, if you missed any of the games today, want to catch up on those highlight reels, there's a wonderful place you can go for that. Is our YouTube channel. It is over at youtube.com/PUBGMOBILE Don't forget to smash that subscription button.
And ding-dong, that notification bell.
Ring-a-ding-ding. And we'll have to see how the last 4 maps pan out. We have got one more day, and that is all that separates us from the regional finals here. But for now, we are done for the day. So thank you so much for watching on behalf of the broadcast team and ourselves. We will see you tomorrow, 8 p.m. Central European Summer Time. Be there or be square.
Don't be late.